Welcome to the Moon of Mahaa-Kalaa podcast, the frontline defense in defending Platinum against whatever accusations might be flung their way and parrying that shit. That's our jobs.
Wooly, do you know why that's our job specifically?
Whatever accusations come at Platinum's way, we tap forward and deflect it.
And do you know why we need to do that, Wooly? Specifically,
Why
us? Raise your hand if you have more followers than Hideki Kamiya.
Hold on. Hold on.
Oh, you have way more. It's way more.
This may be an untruth. Hold on. No, he's back, dude.
Yeah, he's back with a fucking new account.
No, it's the same one.
It's the same one?
Yeah, it's not a new account. He's back.
Oh, it this morning it had to build back up. Oh,
no. It's the exact same. It's not a brand new account. It's the exact same account back up.
Well, no, but this morning it was climbing. Like it was like 2,000. Ah, bummer. Well, I guess we're off the hook then, huh?
Yeah, I suppose so. Anyways, man.
Oh, video games! Boy, howdy! I love talking about video games.
All right. It's good. It's good times, good week. Nice and underslept. In the right state. Yeah, the bit annihilated. You did. It was a shot. It was a shot.
I tried. I retweeted somebody who was like, raise your hand if you got more followers, because at the time I did.
Well, because it got locked down, but yeah.
My mic sounds like shit. Is there an issue with my microphone today, Wolves?
You sound fine to me. Is it possible that the headphones are doing the phone thing again? I don't think so.
It's possible.
Let me take a look. Let me see if
it's the same thing every time where I'm using a hardware compressor and everybody's losing their mind because I flattened it.
Okay.
Because they would rather have horrible peaks and valleys and room echo than have it be slightly flatter.
Yeah.
I think hey,
we literally fixed it in post, by the way.
Yeah, I got a goddamn mixer and a proper microphone again. That's almost identical to my old one, and like every day that I stream, people are just like, "Oh, it's the new microphone, terrible," and then I go listen to my own audio, and it sounds so much fucking better than it used to,
dude.
And I'm like, everyone is insane.
The first time we switched over to these mics from the old shitty room ones, some people were like, "This is different. I hate it," even though the quality was immensely improved. Right? Change makes negative no matter what, even in a world of like, I just took you from 360p to 4K. What are you talking about?
Someone in the chat said that I'm a bit loud. I'm sorry. I was born this way.
At the same time, I'm also looking forward to seeing how people freak out because I bought some new lights for the game setup.
Ooh.
And that's going to make us look significantly different as well. And people are probably not ready for it, especially when they see all the weird creases, scars, and details you never wanted to fucking see up close.
Yeah, you really want to get those butthole veins dealt with, will they?
Yeah, you don't want to see my weird ear thing that I got.
You have a weird ear?
I got a weird ear thing, and nobody understood. Everyone's like, "What the fuck is that weird ear thing?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Is that new? I don't remember you having that.
No, I have a weird ear thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
I guess your hair pretty much always covers it.
Yeah, well, pretty much,
And the headphones, obviously.
Anyways.
What's up with the weird ear thing?
I had a
boxing?
No, I had a piercing, and it didn't go well. So
it did that shit that it do.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Bummer.
Anyways, yeah. So speaking of bummers, okay. Well, shall we mount the defense? Shall Wooly describe how Platinum can still save the day if they just insert fucking reasons here? If they just rewind time?
I think. So yeah, let's just dive right in. We can get to our weeks later.
How about if they just spend a little bit more than $4,000 on Hellena Taylor, the voice of Bayonetta. How about that?
I really want to bring up a certain phrase that I think is funnier and funnier every day, which is platinum never loses its luster.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
is like it's the funniest fucking thing in the world,
Man.
because like platinum games comes out, it's Clover, we're gonna do Clover
Mm-hmm.
shit,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then
Mm-hmm.
like right away Infinite Space was like kind of mid, like it was fine,
But it's
right?
like, it's still your gameplay over all else, small
Yeah,
studio underdog story of like, yeah,
totally.
let's go with that. And
But then it's like even their bangers like are like definitively flawed.
mm-hmm,
Like Bayo 1 and 2 are great, but they're seriously flawed.
mm-hmm.
And like Wonderful 101 is great. It's very, very flawed.
Now I
And then
didn't.
Babylon's Fall is a thing that
Well, here's the
exists.
thing: is I didn't realize that there was some people out there that were like, every time Babylon's Fall comes up and Wooly blames Square Enix instead of Platinum, he's deflecting from their shit and he's running a defense on that or whatever.
Nah, that's
And
not real.
but that's no that has come up significantly in leading up to us talking about this shit
Oh
today,
no, no, no. I
because
don't mean that the claim isn't real. I mean that the reality is not that.
so I was entirely going. So there was a video where the gameplay looked good, and then then when the game came out, it looked bad. What happened? Why would that be the case? And it was very confusing that there would be the good version and then suddenly not the good version.
I want to hold up my hand for a second.
Mm-hmm.
You just, while you're describing
Mm-hmm.
how people misunderstand you, I looked over and saw someone in the chat say, "Is Pat saying that he always hated Clover? Because that's seriously re-narrativization." I'm like, what? When the fuck did I
Yeah, here
just
we
say
go.
that?
Here we go.
You
Here we go.
fucking
Here we go.
stupid morons!
Tut tut tut.
You
Hold up.
fucking idiots!
Okay. All right. All right. All right. We're not even there yet. We're in the fucking meandering preamble. But I always looked at that thing of like, kind of like when I look at Project Relink with the Grand Blue stuff, and I go, oh, well, there's a version where it looks like they do the thing they usually do, which is make some fun combat. And then when I see
Yeah.
a version of that looks nothing like that, I get very confused as to like why the whole thing is different, why it was remade.
I think I saw somebody sum it up perfectly, which is it was Cygames's plan to pay platinum for an entire game that was so good that they then threw out every single part of it to start completely over with a new company.
So, whenever
That
I've
was their
seen,
master plan.
yeah, whenever I in the industry in the past, whenever I've worked on games that have started out one way and then become something completely different by the end, it's almost universally been due to publisher based meddling as opposed to dev based stuff. So that's kind of my perception on it. If that ain't the case and it's just completely entirely Platinum's fuck up on that, then that's unusual, and fine, fair enough. That's what that situation was then. But my entire thing about thinking it was Square Enix was just because, like, I don't. Whenever you see a game become a shade of its former self in these instances, that's often what it tends to be. I don't know if there's ever any hard confirmation though, because I know behind the scenes I saw that happen to a fuck ton of games I've worked on.
That's Square Enix.
But regardless of all that shit, yeah. So this week we get hit with the fun news that it sure does sound like Platinum Games treated the voice of Bayonetta, Hellena Taylor, like shit. It sure does sound, according to what she's been telling us by breaking NDA, no less, that they likely lowballed her by asking for, what she called an insulting number, which then was upped to 4K after she spoke directly with Hideki Kamiya. And then after turning that down, if there was any sort of budgetary concern, they then got Jen Hale, who is a very prominent voice actor, who definitely, I imagine, was not getting that same rate. or given that
Yeah,
same rate.
so
So then it makes
it's
it look
it's
like they wanted to probably get rid of her on purpose. That's some
it's
fucking shit.
there's a couple things that could be going on here. The so Helena Taylor comes out and says that they offered her 4K, which is like not even enough to pay her rent for a couple months, and she's been the voice of this character for 2 games, and it's ridiculous. And you look at the new trailer they just put out, where there's going to be like 4 or 5 or 6 Bayonettas, so the workload on acting for it would have been like, you know, tripled, quadrupled, maybe. And they offer her basically a pittance, like a sixpence. Um, and every part of this story is strange. It's not nothing that Helena Taylor says is strange. It's eminently believable. You had voice actors coming out. There's a gentleman named Sean Chiplock who was talking about how he made more money off of fucking Freedom Planet than he did off of Breath of the Wild.
The
There's
company behind the Wonderful 101 Kickstarter, they got more for doing the
yeah,
Kickstarter.
there's Brian Deschart came out and said yes, this is absolutely the norm. Just complete dog shit offers for like major roles, stuff like that. So that all rings true, right? It has it has the there's no reason to doubt it. What becomes very strange is what the fuck are they doing? Because the replacement is Jen Hale.
Mm-hmm.
Jen Hale is the most long-running prominent female voice actor in video games, period.
Mm-hmm.
She assuredly commands the highest rate,
Mm-hmm.
which means it can't have just been the money. It had to have been something more than that. Either somebody wanted Helena gone, like literally some accountant, some director, some whatever. It could have been that they were attempting to go to
Mm-hmm.
push the voice cast non-union and
Mm-hmm.
decided to start with the star, and then
Mm-hmm.
that blew up in their fucking face because everybody else on the cast is union, including Jen Hale.
And that's what I was about to go to, is the part that confuses the fuck out of me is the idea that SAG, the Screen Actors Guild, which they're all members of, would not be involved in this process, because not only are they around for contract disputes and pay disputes, but they're also around to make sure that a member of their union doesn't come in to replace another member of their union based on something like being lowballed, right? The whole point of the union is to negotiate for better rates and to protect the members of the union by making sure you can't undercut someone to find someone else. If you're both members, you're going to have solidarity, right? So that's why I'm confused.
It's also like Jen Hale has also been a very, very prominent union SAG advocate for voice actors' roles. So it's an extra weird pick.
It's super strange because like that's it. From it looks definitely like a situation that SAG should have been involved with to protect, you know, the deal that they were trying to make with Helena, right? So yeah, there's that definitely leaves it to a situation where there's more here that we don't have the full story on. And I mean, assuming that that was the final and best offer, and that there was no sort of like, I don't know, like royalty or whatever other version of the details might be out there, something then led Kamiya to say this is not true, it's a lie, essentially. Something vaguely, I forget the exact phrasing, but like the sadness of untruth or something. So he says that what she says is not what happened. So now it's like, okay, so then what did happen? And Kamiya then, on a completely separate note, just goes down a real clown shoes weekend of, I guess, like,
beware my rules, motherfuckers.
Yeah, like, so the bit doesn't work when it's a serious issue. It's not the whole like get blocked on the Kickstarter, haha, like that doesn't apply when someone's talking about something that is real, dude. Like, fucking come on, you know? And then continuing to push it that way. Really bad call. Really no tact on that one. The account gets really locked down by Twitter eventually, and then deletes, and then comes back this morning. Just what the fuck? What are you doing, man?
When someone's primary workplace accusation is that you were unreasonable and insulting, to turn around and start acting like a child throwing a tantrum Definitely just the best way to handle it.
Mm-hmm. No, so yeah, the kayfabe. There's no kayfabe. That's just who he is. That's what it is,
Oh
right?
yeah,
And
Kamiya's a fucking prick.
the thing that definitely is like a part of this, that has always been a part of it, is like at some point as well, like you could just put the phone down. Like you could actively not be on Twitter, or be on Twitter as much as the other fellow game developers are, which is to some degree,
When
but not that
he,
often.
when I think his name is Atsushi Inaba was running Platinum, they had a behind the scenes for like I think it was 101 maybe. And he's literally like talking straight at the camera. He's like, I don't know how Kamiya gets any work done.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
literally only see him on his phone, and
Yeah.
I'm like yelling at him every single day to get off Twitter
Yeah.
and to
No,
shut the
so
fuck up.
it's funny until it's not, unfortunately, and yeah, you kind of and then because that response was the first and only thing, that kind of becomes the official response, more or less, because he was called out by name in the third video that Helena posted, alongside the like pleasant message and all the niceties and such about the role that she played, and then again insulting offer. So I've seen people trying to, like, I guess try to find the average rates to compare them, and there's definitely a larger conversation that can be had about how voice actors are underpaid, period. There's
Voice actors are paid dog shit. Like the Mob Psycho stuff is like fucking bananas.
So what's happening with
Like
season 3?
Mob is going to be voiced by a different person because they didn't want to go union.
Okay.
So they're going to switch out in the third season of the dub to a new actor just because they didn't want to pay like union rates, which are low anyway for voice actors.
Mm-hmm.
There's also an actor on that. I think it was on Mob, where she was describing how for like 3 seasons of work she's gotten like $400. And there's some anime, some new shonen called Jujutsu
Jujutsu,
Kaisen.
Jujutsu Kaisen,
Kaisen,
yeah,
in which
JJK.
the dub actors got paid like $150 each for their movie speaking roles, and that movie came out in the U.S. and made like millions of dollars.
Right. So
And it's like, yeah, so like voice actors are
larger
just getting
conversation about how fucking shit that is, and the fact, of course, that like, I mean, I believe the there was a point where it's just like voice acting is acting, I think, was like the hashtag, because it was
is.
like the perception of like, no, you're just talking into a thing. It's not the same as doing a full performance, and it's like, motherfucker, you should see what they go through to like deliver those lines, and it's
I think the funniest thing about that is that it's not the same thing. It's a completely different thing. It's a completely different thing. It's why it's so frustrating when you see Mario movie and it's like star, 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 star. Well, why not about prominent voice actors who would do great jobs because they're voice actors? Chris Pratt is not a voice actor. That's very clear.
Hence the term stunt casting, right? Now, I that's the thing, is just I don't get like the union aspect of that, and then zooming out, I don't understand to what benefit it would be for Platinum to take, in this particular instance with a character like Bayonetta, a massively defining aspect of the character coming to life, something that's a huge part of what she is to everybody. Like, there's so much to that. We've certainly seen replacements happen before. We've seen David Hayter talk about being sick to his stomach when he's not the voice of Solid Snake, and literally in Street Fighter 6, Ken is a new voice as well, right?
Yeah.
So like that type of thing has happened. Now eventually Hayter did take a picture out with Kiefer Sutherland and have like the Twin Snakes as the title and stuff, and it kind of just looks like, all right, at some point in the planning, Kojima went, I'm just gonna straight up offer this to the Hollywoods because that's the direction I want to go in, and so on. But this kind of feels different because instead of just going, we want to replace Helena entirely with someone else or with Jen Hale, they went through an auditioning process, which, as she explained, was to make sure they can still do the job. And then once she passed it with flying colors, this whole thing happened. So if instead of just the ugly, but we've seen it before, we're replacing you from the top and you never heard about what or why, she was actually part of the inside process of casting and then pushed out. And that makes it much more targeted and shitty.
Mm-hmm. And now we get to the fun part where it's wildly speculative. I'm seeing suggestions that it may have been something to do with her politics, which I don't know. I don't know what her politics are, and I don't know what Platinum's politics are either. You see speculation
that's
that
what,
it's
yeah, okay.
yeah, it could be anything, and you run into the situation in which so everybody else on that cast is NDA'd and union, and as a result, kind of stuck. There's a quote or there's a statement from Jen Hale that came out like literally 5 minutes
Right.
before the podcast.
Right. So prior to that, I didn't. So yeah, we just got this now. But like, Jen Hale was liking tweets that effectively were saying, she's probably under NDA and can't say anything, and other tweets that were saying she likely didn't know anything about this situation going in. Like, don't throw her under the bus for it. So that seemed pretty like, hey, yeah, this is kind of an NDA situation. And then there's this statement.
So with regard to Bayonetta 3, as a longtime member of the voice acting community, I support every actor's right to be paid well and have advocated consistently for this for years. That is absolutely accurate, and it's very clear. Anyone who knows me or has followed my career will know that I have a great respect for my peers, and I have advocated for all members of the community. I am under NDA and am not at liberty to speak regarding the situation. However, my reputation speaks for itself. I sincerely ask that everyone keep in mind this game has been created by an entire team of hardworking, dedicated people, and I hope everyone will keep an open mind about what they have created. Finally, I hope that everyone involved may resolve their differences in an amicable and respectful way. With love and respect to you all, Jen Hale. Not a whole lot of substance there, obviously, because of the nature of it. And something that may come up in the near or far future, regardless, is that if you're actually dealing with individuals that you really, really, really want a hot take on a particular organization or legal matter, it's quite possible that they have some kind of legal barrier to that discussion, and that it would be under your best interest to go somewhere else where you can get that hot take without that kind of bias or legal barrier.
It does in fact seem that large amounts of bias and yes, legal barriers against elaboration, perhaps disparagement, who knows,
Opinion,
all kinds of things like that.
Yeah,
that's one of those things. Might get in the way of being able to speak openly and freely about an opinion you'd like to hear about.
So I would highly advise you, if you, for example, are unthrilled with Jen Hale's like reasonable but fairly unsatisfying response, that you would go and instead look to the wider voice acting community and look to their responses about their experiences instead of going to what is essentially a brick wall.
To the best of which she can say, I've signed an NDA. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Right.
So now we're in the wider conversation about, she called for a boycott of Bayonetta 3, which is fascinating because video game boycotts don't work.
They don't.
And Bayo actually sold out on like Amazon and other retailers as a direct result of this publicity.
That being said, it's understandable given the nature of like, if she's at the point of breaking her NDA because like she's waited probably until like the final minute of this game being about to come out to see if there was any resolution, I would assume, with someone that has, very little to no power in that situation, trying to have some sort of effect, that's like that's the result, right? That's what you go towards, and I get it. I mean, to me, that's the type of shit that's like, man, of well, there's the part where you're like, this is a game that is also like people have been waiting for it for literally like most of a decade.
Yeah,
And
we went from there's
all
been
that
300
nonsense,
fucking days with no news.
and that whole game and such, to this, right in the right at the finishing line, so to speak, and being like, well, I guess we can't have nice things or feel nicely about them. People have voiced their support for that and are gonna be joining that. I get it. I understand, certainly. For me, I'm waiting for more information to come out. I'm like, I don't know what's gonna shake from this. I definitely think that I might not buy that. I might not buy it right away, but I might play it right away.
I'm in a
If you
I'm in a
catch my
very
meaning, if you catch my drift, if you picking up what
I'm
I'm
in a
putting down, if you're loading up a ROM into my emulator called Yuzu, if you understand what I'm saying.
that's come on. You kind of killed it there.
Well,
You kind of killed the fun on that.
sometimes
Um
folks don't get to. So
uh I'm I'm torn. Um I'm torn because you remember a while ago the voice acting push was voice acting matters, right? Do you remember that? That was
that
the
was one of them. Yeah. Yeah.
that was the push for the higher wages a while ago.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm in this personal situation of like, man, this is a gross situation. But I was in fact very much looking forward to this game. I was very excited. I was also excited to cover it. And I'm in this situation in which I'm like, I would rather there be no voice actors anymore.
Go on.
Than have to deal with this.
You'd rather games don't have voice acting?
I would rather buy a version of the game that doesn't have voice acting.
I mean, that's a weird ass take. I don't agree with that, but I do think that even if you remove that from the equation, there's still a million ways to treat like shit and or exploit different people working for you, whether that's a voice actor, an artist, a dev, a staffer of any kind. There's a lot of ways for that to go poorly. It doesn't just have to be a voice actor.
I can look over to my left and I can see people misunderstanding what I mean. I'm not saying that I want you to go out into the street and break every voice actor's legs and tell them they can't work anymore.
No, I think
it makes me wish the game didn't have voice acting at all, because for my premier like action game, I don't care. I actually don't care about like the cutscenes are cool and all, but if the character action series genre was literally a series of levels with cool moves, I would probably like them almost just as much. No, and it makes me sad that this extra, because one of the issues here is that particularly with Japanese companies, they don't give a shit about Western voice actors specifically. Like in all the examples that we described earlier, the English dub casts are the ones who get super fucked over.
Well, side note on the first thing you said with the take, I'll get back to, but I've been reading about how voice actors in Japan, seiyuu as you call them, are also kind of more or less treated like shit unless they're in the top A-lister grouping. They're the ones who are like revered and are celebrities in their own right because they're prolific in anime, are treated wonderfully, but like lower level voice actors in Japan are also treated like shit too. So I
just saw a really excellent question,
that.
which is, so just destroy a whole industry? To which I say, a industry that can't be run ethically doesn't need to exist. Right? And I actually include video games entirely on that list because they're luxury toys.
At the end of the day, yes, this is all just video games, right? That is a bottom line you can always revert to. I think I get what your point is about, like, I'd rather they not exist or you'd rather they not be there. I don't think it was about attacking and breaking the legs of voice actors, but even in your take there, I still think that's like, no, I disagree with that, because there's a lot of things that are not core to what I want, especially out of a character action game, that could still be similarly shit on and exploited in bad ways. Like all these all these little window dressings are all vulnerable to this type of treatment, you know. Voice acting in particular is something that I care about. I enjoy the aesthetics, I enjoy the characterization, I care about it in the way that I care about the art, in a way that I care about the music, you know what I mean, and all these little things. Of course, the impact you're going to have replacing the voice of the main character is not going to be the same impact as replacing the voice of the vocalist of the theme music for Dante. You know what I mean? Like, that's a much more minor aspect of it. But at the end of the day, when it comes to, can people working on this game get treated by like shit in the exact same way, even if there was no voice acting in it? Absolutely. You know?
Yeah, no. And I'm actually going somewhere with this. That's just my gut reaction. But then, as somebody correctly points out, that I work for Amazon and YouTube, who are evil. Yes.
Nasal bucks, baby.
And then I get trapped. I had a discussion with some friends of mine on Discord the other day, in which we were like lamenting the state of society and like how everything is bad, and like went around and discovered that like everyone in the Discord was working for an industry that was part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And
are we hitting the cop out? Are we hitting the cop out button?
Oh, it's coming. And it's just like, oh, and also we were doing so in Discord. Perfect, right? And it's just like, yeah, no, that's the issue with my thing of like a industry that can't comport itself ethically, doesn't need to exist. And it's like, well, they can, but they're not gonna. And I feel like you got to see it with Harry Potter very strongly, and now you're gonna see it with Bayo, in which there's people who are like my life's pretty good, your life's pretty good, things are going pretty well for us, I think, right? I love my wife, I got the dog, I got the cat, I moved out to BC, things are going well. I enjoy my job. I like to sit here on Mondays and talk to you, right? But I remember a version of me that was like working at the grocery store and was like, oh man, I'm not gonna like just walk into the ocean because the guy at Game Buzz gave me Bayonetta a week early, even though he wasn't supposed to. And like, I feel there's just this, I can already see the people that are like, I just want to play my video game, man.
Yeah.
Can I just play with my toy?
Well,
like just that's it.
And the answer is you can. You absolutely can. It's just you don't need to get, like, the meme I think is like the dude gets the knife out and is like, how dare you insult my favorite corporation, I'll defend you, corp. And he's diving into action.
Those people are complete, and those people are total psychos, because the Harry Potter thing gave us like this massive macrocosm of the two reactions, right? Which is, I don't give a shit about Harry Potter, I don't give a fuck, right? I think it's fucking silly wizard shit.
Sure.
And he'd be like, haha, turf game for babies, haha. And there's two reactions to that. The first reaction is, oh, what? No, how could you? I've grown up with Harry Potter, and it's great, and it's good for the kids, and you just don't know, right? And then there's yeah, but I like the books when I really like it, and I want to pretend to be wizard. Come on, man.
Yeah. No.
Like Like
That
there's the two sides of it. There's like, how dare you, and then there's like, come on, just let me have my toy.
And then and it's just it's just like, don't, like, if that's the way that hits you, because this is going to continue to happen for the rest of our lives, as you discover everything you enjoy has some shit up that's a part of it that fucking sucks, right? That will continue to happen forever. And my statement, my point, my whole sentiment has always just been, just don't pretend, as long as you don't pretend it doesn't exist, as long as you don't kick the dirt over it. You know, that was the whole SNK thing. That was every one of these little bits.
Yeah, the SNK thing is the best example, because the SNK thing is like, did you know that maybe a couple of your pennies went to murder someone?
Not a lot point? But some people didn't. Some people didn't know.
Right?
Legitimately like, did not know. So just don't pretend it doesn't exist.
Liable? No, you know? It doesn't make you liable. That would be silly.
If you're tuning in and listening to us on a regular basis and you're like, okay, here we go again, it's like, that's one thing, certainly. But it's just like, yeah, legitimately a lot of people didn't know. And, you know, just like a lot of people probably also didn't catch the, what was the update on the fucking JK bit where it's like ally of the Russian Empire? Like,
I don't know. It's
quoted, like,
down the drain it goes.
Name dropped by Putin for fucking for big credits, you know, like, wild shit. So that's it, man. It's knowing about that. And then if your response is, oh shit, yes, if your response is, yeah, okay, and then you go back to being dejected, it's like, that's, I get that. I do get it.
I'm unclear as to what my plans for coverage are.
I'm wondering.
I was planning to hit it and blow it out in like a day or two.
You were planning, dude. I started the rolling start on the second game a week ago.
Yeah, no, right?
Like, gearing up.
We were both planning to just hit it as hard as we could, and I'm torn because there's the David Cage argument to be made.
Okay. All right. I'm listening. You have my attention. Go on.
When we played Heavy Rain or Fahrenheit, it was not an advertisement.
Yes.
To go purchase such a product.
This is true. This is true.
Now, is that a laughable cop-out to go, well, I can have it so that you don't have to have it?
1,000,000%, considering
it absolutely is.
That we have been one of the forefront fucking platinum and character action game enthusiast locations on the... Holy shit. You just turned into a pink smear. Okay.
That's weird, because it only happened... I'm looking at my local camera.
Okay.
And mine didn't do that. Well,
yeah. So Discord has called out your shit.
Oh no.
Discord's calling you out on that one. Yeah.
So let me check. So I got. I'm not gonna hear. You want to hear something really funny? You want to hear something really fucking funny? I'm not gonna name a name because they never got back to me, and they still might. But let's just imagine, Wooly, that there is some kind of high-end niche Japanese series that you and I would have been really excited to do a video series back in the day, until a dinosaur told us to go fuck ourselves under threat of channel deletion. And then ran that same gimmick years and years later. Imagine my fucking face when I open up my business email and get lowballed a fucking offer to do an official sponsorship for it.
That would probably involve you not being able to show everything.
That includes like talking it up and its new versions. And because they don't know that I had like a playthrough that I had to kill because of the streaming regulations, which are still in place. Like, it's fucking.
Could you just reply with a JPEG of a Stegosaurus?
No, I replied with, they were like, "What do you want?" I was like, "This is what I want." And they're like, "We'll get back to you," and that was like 10 days ago.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, I am wondering, and then this is legit. This is a real question. Um, do you think that should launch day come and a Bayonetta 3 Let's Play commenced, and the only difference was that it was in 4K, and that there was a window, a taskbar at the bottom of the screen. Um, how do you think?
I wouldn't recommend that because that's a bannable offense on.
Yeah, I was gonna say how would that play out?
it would play out like the person doing so would lose their channel.
Yeah, okay. That's kind of the vibe I got. You know,
is how it would play out.
Now, what's interesting, of course, is that stuff like Fightcade continues to be a thing, right? There's stuff out there. That...
Yeah, but like, come on, that's my argument to that, which is come on.
Uh-huh.
That's the legal argument
And
when a judge looks at you and
no,
goes, "Come on."
Yeah, no, and Your Honor, my defense opening statement is, yeah, yeah, Your Honor, come on, you know, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, yeah.
I mean, we could always pass the buck and just throw out a vote and say, "Hey, who wants to see it on the channel anyway?" And then the vast majority of people will go yes, and then totally absolve us of any moral responsibility whatsoever.
But yeah, that is a thing. What if your frame for the window that you're playing it in is just a transparent frame of like a Windows 3.1 thing?
That's just really funny.
Yeah.
That's just funny. It's messy. It's weird. And also, man, this is gonna sound, I don't know how it's gonna sound, but like I'm wary of getting into the expectation of like, well, if bad people worked on this game, you can't cover it, because then we might as well just stop playing video games at all.
I mean, can you put a disclaimer up that says no rape rooms were created in the making of this game before you press start?
To which somebody says, you don't know that.
Do you agree to the EULA?
You don't know.
Do you agree to
know that?
Do you agree to the EULA that says that there may have been like no fewer than 3 fucking Cosby suites involved in the creation of this game? Yeah.
I mean, how many more of these do we need to go through? I mean, like, look at fucking Skullgirls and Lab Zero. That was like a fucking tiny little indie place.
Yeah, and
then on it goes. Well, it's like, oops.
Yeah, well, the happy ending to that is that they were able to like get the game and people could enjoy it without feeling like shit. You know, seeing as the hidden variable and Autumn Games were doing their thing with the product. In this case, you're looking at just like any of these other stories about like, you know, this type of shitty behavior, like one where it's going to feel bad. But I guess the difference is that in those other cases, there wasn't somebody who like in their message was directly calling for the boycott. Right. Mm-hmm. So that kind of is what, and then you're gonna have to see what comes of this over the course of the next week or two, because there's going to be more to this. I imagine most of it will happen behind closed doors, as Platinum's going to handle it legally. You know, Nintendo
or not
may or may not. You know, but Nintendo should probably say something if Platinum doesn't, because if they can choose to just ignore the story entirely, and that'll be that, and just be like, yeah, we'll just take the hit, we'll take the bad press and call it a day. But if Platinum doesn't come out and say something officially, Nintendo absolutely should.
I feel this like adding the morality of playing a entertainment product like this is now so complex, because like this is all whataboutism, this is all no ethical consumption, but like it's all cop out. But at the same time, like, let's take Bayonetta, right? Bayonetta is being under Platinum under Nintendo, and someone, at least one person over there, is a dickhead who offered shit rates to an actor who deserved better, right?
You know,
Um,
yeah, go
Bayonetta
ahead.
used to be under Sega,
Hmm.
who are criminals. And my favorite thing in the world is the Like a Dragon series, which is like a fucking puff piece about how murderous sex trafficking criminals in Japan really do have hearts of gold. Right? Like who?
Well,
Ah,
I mean, like the in-game versions of them, of course, being the sanitized thing. But yeah, and also pirates that are celebrated on the high seas as well as adventurers and stuff. And it's like roving rape boats that just
no.
like
I don't use a historical analog. Like I use the Yakuza thing very specifically because the Yakuza thing is the devs are friends with crime mans
okay directly.
and make a crime man simulator that makes the crime mans look cool.
Okay.
Like the Like a Dragon series is a direct arm of the PR of a criminal syndicate.
Right. Okay. Right. Yeah. This was like if
The
the
problem is that they're great.
this was like if the creator of One Piece was directly hanging out with modern day pirates over
In
the Indian
Somalia
Ocean and
or
Somalian
something,
seas.
and be like,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay. On that note, did you know that you can fund pirate operations by like literally sending them money and then getting back a percentage of whatever they raid? Like there was a whole like Kickstarter for pirate thing that popped up some time ago that was like, hey, that's yeah. Anyway,
hey, hold on. I want to respond to something I just saw. Great, which is Pat says that, but the Like a Dragon series goes into detail about just how terrible most of the Yakuza are, and that's the trick. The trick is that yeah, the guys that you're gonna run into, they're just the bad Yakuza, but the guys at the top or the guys really running things, they're good guys deep down, you know? Kiryu would never sex traffic those people.
um, I'll have to find out firsthand myself, in the future.
He wouldn't. He's a good guy.
Okay, never killed anybody. To get right back to it, though, what is super fucking confusing and weird as well is that if you look at a lot of industries, when it comes to the sequels or the season 1, season 2, season 3, when somebody returns as a role, they're often offered double what they got last time as
Yeah, that's an incentive to retain the role and keep continuity.
as a matter of principle and exactly incentive, because this is what that value is worth now that they've been an established part of this and they've helped create it and this is what's going forward. There's often that amount, and in fact when it wasn't that amount, that's why Terrence Howard walked away and Don Cheadle took over as Rhodey, right? But that was the first time I remember hearing about how, oh yeah, like returning roles often double up on what you were offered last time. So, I mean, that's not mentioned here in these cases, but it's like, dear God, what did she get for Bayo 1 and Bayo 2? Was there an hourly rate that was just like fucking peanuts?
Likely, yes. Yeah, probably. That's probably exactly what it was.
Be- yeah.
You know what the if you want to talk out real cop out, like real cop out shit, do you want to talk about the really fun one, which is you hear unconfirmable rumors that devs on certain projects are just complete pieces of shit, but you have no way to prove it whatsoever because it's just one person telling you.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't exactly run with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're stuck in the situation of like, well, I don't have objective proof that they're complete garbage or that they don't pay people or whatever, and I can't find out. and the person I'm talking to could be completely full of shit. Like, and then you hear that a lot.
But as time goes forward,
tons of devs are garbage.
As time goes forward, the likelihood of that stuff getting confirmed increases, you know, ultimately. Yeah. So, fuck that shit, and have a nice day. You know, like, I await any sort of official response with bated breath, certainly, or at the very least,
there will not be
some contextualizing information as to like why the iconic voice of your character was just like the whole thing about like maybe she'll show up as like in like a Virgil style situation was the biggest, most massive copium in retrospect ever.
Oh yeah, that was the same exact thing we did with David Hayter.
I have never huffed more copium than that fucking maybe she'll come back as the original other character in the story and they're just keeping it under wraps for plot reasons. Oh my god. Get the tank out. That was
I don't
in
know.
retrospect
I'm
that's
just
fucking crazy.
I'm in the very weird place. I described it as I described it on my stream the other day when the news broke, and I can modify it for you if you allow it. But I was in this place of like, the fact that the thing that you like is made by complete pieces of shit, or even moderate pieces of shit, right, has become such a common occurrence. It's become like the norm that I am not there yet. But I am this close to those of you at home listening to this, no video. I'm just holding my little fingers just a little close together. I'm this close to somebody telling me that Yoshi P got caught eating a baby at a restaurant. And I just go, I don't even care. I don't even care when's the next patch coming out.
Oh, like Jesus Christ. Well, you went right for it. I'm
getting there.
I mean, so that to you.
Did you know that Street Fighter 6 is made with orphan blood?
Yeah, so I was talking to Reggie about that, like, that exactly thing. But no, like that to you with Yoshi P and for like this is that with Bayo. Like this is literally that to me. We're here. This is exactly that scenario. And like that's how it was for yours. Over on mine, I was supposed to just have a fun little Saturday stream with Sharpie playing Multiversus, and it was supposed to just be a little good time. And then, of course, when the attempt was made to just play and have fun, but I kind of annihilated the stream when it was brought to a screeching halt because the question came up about what was going on with Bayo. And I just fucking went off on that for longer than we probably ended up playing Multiversus. And then that was the thing. To which, of course, whatever. People fucking like, can't wait to see Woolie's fucking. Like, it's just like, if you can go click on the video and go watch it if you want to catch that hot take. You don't have to come in with some preempt, like, or just like, you know, T-minus however many hours until Woolie's nervous breakdown on Monday. Go fuck yourself. Legitimately, man. I'm like, I know a lot of this news I also am catching way late because I've increased the amount of active Twitter dodging I've been putting up in my life. I confirmed that the last couple times I went to the every time I go to the homepage on Twitter and I scroll through it, 100% of the time, 10 out of 10 times, I see something that upsets me and makes my day a little bit worse. Right? Is
that the solution? Should I have just been like, just stay off the whole internet except for doing the streams, and then when I'm streaming Bayonetta 3, somebody's like, "Did you know?" And I'd be like, "Wow, I didn't know."
I confirmed. I tested myself, and I confirmed that every single time I went to it and looked at it, it made my day a little worse. Even if I enjoyed scrolling past some fun art and some posts from some places, some people I like, or some fun videos, it automatically brings it down. It always gets worse. So I'm like, I'm just not going there anymore, right? And that so what ends up happening is I kind of pop it open and I'm like, well, there's the notifications that are directed at me, and these are basically almost like an inbox of sorts that I'm scrolling through. But a lot of outside info is going to be late getting to me because I'm pretty much actively dodging it. And this week in particular, I was spending time with my family, legitimately just like out of it, like doing other shit. And it would not have been made better by wallowing deeper and deeper into that shit cesspool.
I'm in a different place. For whatever reason, it doesn't affect me nearly as much. I can see the nightmare of the world, and I'm like, wow, that's terrible. But like, I can put up the shield so that it doesn't get like in, right? And I can sympathize and I can empathize, and I can become frustrated. Like there's only one Twitter account that I had to stop following it. I had to stop following it because it blew right through that shield every tweet, and it was for exposure.
Mm-hmm.
For exposure is
Mm-hmm.
is like a knife to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I can see war on my timeline, and I can compartmentalize it, and I can fucking put it away, and I can just okay, right? But when I see for exposure, there's something about the arrogance and the smugness and the fucking it goes right through. It goes
Mm-hmm.
right through. And I can't no. I can see war. I see vor on my timeline all the time. You can't escape it. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
See it on Woolie's Twitter. He likes Kirby.
There you go.
But so I'm in a different place, but like I don't want to be willfully ignorant, particularly because I have a broadcast that I do, which seems irresponsible.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't want to become so drowned in the negativeness of the world that I then regurgitate that out back to I don't know.
Yeah, I think
I didn't go to college for this. This is complicated.
I think willful ignorance, like there that does exist. Some people do operate that way. I don't think we tend to operate that way. I think most of the time people are expecting a cleaning of house come Monday. Let's hear what's going to go on, or whatever the opinions are going to be. And whenever it's one of those like, ooh, can't wait for how it's gonna go down, that's a big thing that happens during the week. But I do know that like I am just objectively looking at my life, my what I feel, my happiness, my joy, it decreases when I doom scroll. It just goes down. So
for me,
simple
it doesn't decrease
input
my
output.
happiness. It pushes me towards nihilism.
Yeah,
it
too.
It doesn't
Sure.
decrease my mood.
Sure.
It just increases my belief that nothing matters and that I shouldn't care anymore, which is sad.
Same thing to me. Same thing. Those two things are not mutually exclusive. They both occur.
You know what's a really good example?
I'm also
after you.
I know that I've become a more cynical person over the years.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't like that about myself.
Mm-hmm.
I legitimately don't enjoy that. I don't enjoy the fact that I have a cutting look at most things right off the bat, because that's not who I always was. And I know it's what I've aged into being, but
it's part of getting older.
It is. But, I mean, sometimes I sit down and I'm watching a fucking award show with Reggie, who's like, wow, this cutscene looks amazing. This video game looks great.
You and I come off like such cynical pieces of shit.
And I'm like, oh, he doesn't know. He's in a world of joy.
He doesn't know that the fact that the cutscene is framed like this means the game is trash.
He's excited for farming. You know, like,
Yeah, I wish I could go. It's
no, I do see that, and I notice it in myself, and I notice it like increase based on what I'm subjected myself to. Noticing it based on my personal algorithm, and you know, depending on what you scroll through on Twitter, what you scroll through on Reddit, or what you scroll through anywhere else you visit or get your news, like, it's gonna affect you. So I'm being mindful of how that shit affects me. You know,
it's you. You want to hear something that was a perfect example of this whole thing? I'm on Discord last night and I'm talking with some of my friends and we're talking about the Bayonetta thing. And every single person in the Discord but me is doing the same thing. And that thing is playing WoW Classic as we're talking about the Hellena Taylor thing. And they're asking a friend of mine, and then they got him into WoW Classic, and they gave him a bunch of bags, and he's having a great time. And I'm like, and they're having a blast. They're genuinely, and I'm like, fuck. I don't want to fucking play WoW Classic, but I want to hang out with my pals, and they're having fun. And I'm like, but Blizzard's just so awful. To which a friend of mine pipes up, yeah, but they're the ones who make the game.
damn.
And I'm like, yeah, no, they.
Damn. Those are some bars.
Like what?
Words. Those are some words.
Right? And it's like cart before the horse, and I'm just like, I can't go. I feel like there's an obvious breaking point on this, where like I'm going down the Steam list, and like if I just start picking off stuff based on who I know to suck ass, like it's time to stop. And like that's of no help to me.
But you know, for some people, and brings it full circle, that whole thing of just like, I don't want to like I'm aware of what makes me feel like shit. I don't want to feel like shit, right? For some people, they can go, well, it's just a video game, and at the end, I'd feel more like shit if I was playing this than if I wasn't. So I'm just gonna not, you know. And I get that. That's
my usual thing of like,
if someone says
Atlas games have been damaged for me because of the way Atlas treats us as creators. Like I resent the company to the point where it hurts my enjoyment.
So for, you know, friends of ours who are like, yeah, probably not gonna grab it, probably not gonna support that, or you know, gonna join the boycott with for Bayo and you know, like such, like, it's like, yeah, that makes sense too. If you know that, you know, like buying that it would make you feel bad or you know, you'd feel worse about that or whatever, then do what you got to do to make sure that you don't feel like shit, you know. That's part of it too.
I just saw my absolute favorite, because this conversation always goes the same way, and then every single time we talk about this conversation and I start to cop out about like, ethical consumption and everybody on a team is probably
cop
the dirtbag,
out
blah, blah, blah.
We need a nice
right?
little fucking.
So here's the anti-cop out, right? I look over, and every time, this time it's Hades, but every time I look over and I see, well, just play this forever because everyone on that team is cool. To which I say, you don't know that.
Give it a minute.
You don't know that.
Give it a minute.
Lab Zero was a perfect example.
Underdog.
Skullgirls is the feel-good fighting game made by indie talented people. Indiegogo was great. Right up until it wasn't.
As was Clover, you know, as was Seeds. Like
you know what? Actually, the one that everyone should have seen, like from a million miles away. The meme that the staunch male feminist tends to be the guy who's like actually like a secret like scumbag.
Oh yeah,
like a dirty fucking piece. Like who talk up about their
I'm such an ally. You don't even know how much of an ally.
I'm the hugest ally. Here, drink this. Right?
It's my ally juice.
I'll protect your drink.
Oh, you need to use the bathroom? Don't worry. I'll watch it for you.
I'll watch it.
The biggest ally. Oh yeah.
The one that we really should have seen coming was loading up Assassin's Creed and being like, "This game is made by a group of diverse
Oh,
people
we
with
did.
differing beliefs,"
That's what I.
and I remember
That's
it was just
exactly
like,
we've called that out multiple times. I that has been acknowledged. You know, this game has been made by members of a Cosby suite of people of various faiths and diverse beliefs and yada yada yada. This game has been made by people who had HR departments that shuffled around assaulters, predators, fucking weirdos, creeps, and people at Christmas parties that can't control themselves, and had to sign NDAs to not talk about the things that happened to them. This made by those people too.
yeah. So I don't know. In terms of coverage, I'm open to suggestions. Anybody wants to go to my Twitter at @PatStaresAt and tell me what you think I should do in regards to Bayonetta coverage, by all means. I'm personally very torn.
Mm-hmm.
I still very much want to cover it, but I don't want to let people down.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I not in the horrible mercantile way in which I'm like, what's the way I could work? No, it's like I don't want people that like my stuff to be disappointed.
yeah.
That would make me
I
upset.
hear you. I'm like I said, I'm leaning towards just playing it in 4K.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm getting a Steam Deck today supposedly, so I'm gonna be fucking around with all sorts of shit on that. I'm curious. Do you do so? That's the breakingest news. What did you actually do with your week, sir?
Besides, like, try to fucking throw my phone as far away as possible. Yeah, no, nothing super eventful.
Oh,
I
you know what?
mean,
I'm gonna
yeah,
stop you right there. Hey, if you don't look at your phone and keep up with the news, how are you gonna know what's going on? I don't know. I don't want my phone to ping me that there's an imminent nuclear attack. How
I
about that?
definitely don't want that.
I just want my phone to turn off or do nothing rather than a phrase like fucking imminent nuclear attack, fucking hide. Like, you know what? No, let me just sit outside and be like, what's that? Huh? And then vaporize.
I only want my phone to ping me for one reason, and that's because there's a new drill tweet. Period. I don't
Yeah,
want my phone to.
we weren't recording when you said that, but I was laughing at a new drill tweet, and Wooly tells me that is the only account that pings his phone when there's a tweet, and that's the funniest thing in the world to me.
The only notification I have on fucking Twitter is a new drill tweet just went hot. I need it. I need to read it right away. Fuck the rest.
So
no.
yeah, aside from trying to throw your phone away.
Again, you know, not insanely eventful. Like I said, I've been hanging out with family and I've been, you know, doing some quality time. I've been actually touching grass and taking in the photosynthesis of it, like, quiet. So, but I suppose what would be interesting is just, I guess, looking up more Street Fighter 6 footage and, like, trying to get a feel for, you know, what we know about it now, how the collective knowledge base has come forward and what we've learned, and getting pretty.
Did we talk about Kimberly's double super?
We didn't, but a lot of fun stuff has been found since the beta has ended, including the double super. Yes, when you do.
So, yeah, take it away. Take it away.
When you do Kimberly's level 3 super, she turns on her Walkman and starts playing a theme song that replaces the game soundtrack. Right, and it plays for the whole rest of the game, including next round. And then she gets a little musical icon over her head, and it buffs her speed and damage. Right, so she's in the groove. If you're playing a Kimberly mirror match, and then the second player also does their level 3, it changes the music again, and it adds lyrics, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance style. So
and
now
they're good.
And so you can hear the lyrics to the theme that was playing. So much fun, and that's the type of shit it's you putting little details in the love, you know. Love that, man. Little details.
I don't know if this is a conversation that we ever had on the show. but I know it's a conversation I've had with you 3 times. And it's about CVS 1 versus CVS 2.
Mm-hmm.
CVS 2 has infinity fucking characters and modes and shit in it. But what CVS 1 has is adoration and love. So much love went into CVS 1. Like the loading screen for the highway is like a car chase that with the explosion. All the little details.
It's the only Capcom versus SNK game that takes the gravity of the situation of these two companies coming together and like tries to deliver on that hype, you know?
And Street Fighter 6 is giving me a CVS 1 feel because how many times in 1,000 matches are you going to see that double Kimberly thing?
Yeah.
Like maybe
Whenever,
0,
yeah.
right? How long is it going to take you to naturally discover that Jamie has 7 taunts,
All
depending
dependent on his drink level.
right?
Yes, exactly.
Like forever.
I
But
saw the sickest clip.
All these little details add up.
Mm-hmm. Love.
Into a big feeling of, hey, this game's made by people who are in love with it, and there's all this cool stuff happening.
It matters, man. I saw a clip that's just like the future of Street Fighter, and it's like Ryu versus Luke, and Ryu zoning him out with the fireballs, Hadouken, you know, and then like Jamie blocks, walks forward, goes Hadouken, and then does an EX uppercut and kills him. Ken versus Jamie, and just does a little fake Hadouken, and like in response to the real Hadoukens that Ken was throwing out, and then kills him. And I'm like, God damn, that's the taunt
Kyle
for that
has
moment.
A taunt while crouching. And his taunt while crouching is him holding out his arm and going, "Come here."
Come on. Yeah.
The thing that you would always want to do as Guile.
The perfect win pose things as well. You get a little dance for, you know, if you win, or like Jury. We talked about her making fun of Chun-Li and stuff like that.
The one that got me is because me and you played a lot of Jamie. And Jamie's got the drink mechanic, which makes him drunk and makes him a better fighter. But he has the ability to drink after he's already drunk. And he has a kick move. He has a kick move that can end with him like just downing tons and tons of booze while he's walking backwards. And I'm like, this move seems like trash.
He's already drunk.
What is it? Only to find out that when he drinks in drunk mode, he gets his drive gauge back. And if you do the move where he's backing up while drinking, you fill your thing from like 0 to full. Full gauge back. And now like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep. Even, I mean, I saw earlier when you were doing like individual sips, and I'm just like, yo, hold it down, man. Hold it down. You can
Well, holding it down
sips.
is less safe.
Yes.
Right? Holding it.
But you can steal those sips, you know. It's so.
By the
way,
cool. it's not alcohol.
Energy. It's energy. Yes.
It's herbal medicine.
Absolutely. We're all feeling it, right? We're feeling the herbal tea. So there's
that game is just it had the time and is clearly had more time put into it than any fighting game we have seen in a long time.
Oh yeah, for sure. Everyone's been screenshotting the win quotes because they're all like interpersonal, you know, like they're like, and they have been for a while, admittedly, but like these are like, I guess we're gonna infer what the future holds from some of that stuff. There's and just kind of like people are kind of starting to figure out mechanically as well, like the stuff like Drive Impact, which, you know, was ripping through anyone trying to play footsies, you know, and you kind of have to learn to adjust. There's been a sort of a like, okay, you got to react to the paint splash, you got to learn to see it coming, respond in kind, you know,
and it finally gives a reason to just throw out random jabs.
If your reactions can handle it, certainly. And then, you know, and separate the green as well. Make sure you see that differently. There was a really, also just something really fun and nostalgic, because over on the Versus Asia channel, Mike Ross ran some sets using Jamie against Marn playing Luke, and man, just that vibe, that nostalgic vibe. It was so fun just like watching them play, and they're just talking shit, and and like at the end of it, like Mike is trying to make Jamie work, but he's having a hard time doing it, and Martin's just fucking pressing buttons and having the Luke experience, not too dissimilar to the experience I had with both of those characters. And I was just like, yeah, like it's that time again. It's coming back around,
Yeah.
We talked a bit about the leaks, certainly about what people have figured out from the audio files with you talked about Geef, right?
I did talk about Geef.
Some of the other things we did get, though, were that I guess spoilers if you don't want to know about one of the new characters, but the new the T-Hawk girl, Lily. It's based on the announcer dialogue. It sounds like that is in fact T-Hawk's daughter, straight up.
Yep,
and
makes sense.
She has got a move that's going to involve like installing a wind blast of some kind. So she's got the Condor Dive, she's got the Condor Spire, the T-Hawk moves that we know, and then she'll be able to charge up and store some sort of wind blast. And then
she's gonna be Aganos.
Mina,
she's gonna be Taker. She's gonna be able to push you.
Oh yeah, sure. Or Rachel, Rachel Alucard, right? The wind mechanic. Yeah.
Oh no.
The Mina, who is the French fighter, who's half judo, half ballet, I think it was, is gonna have something called the meta system. So she builds up Menon, excuse me. She builds up meta levels, and as she builds those levels up, it makes a command grab way more strong. So she's got some sort of system built around landing a command grab, and if you build up her meta levels, it's gonna hurt more. Yeah. There's these little clips of James Chen being like, "Oh man, and the meta levels at max. Are we gonna see it?" Like all that kind of stuff. So
that is such an interesting way to handle a grappler. The fear doesn't come from the grab. The fear increases because the grab's strength goes up over the course of the match.
Whatever the level building mechanic is. It kind of
creates a weird situation. It's like, well, my throw is going to do 40%, so you're going to jump. You're going to jump.
So when Akihiko puts you in a block string in Persona 4 Arena and you keep blocking and his tornado level goes up, like, you should have more fear when that shadow goes from blue to dark blue to red. And you're like, oh God, whatever comes next is terrifying. And it's like, yes, that fear install moment is really cool. So she's all about this. They also talked about Cammy having something called a shadow step. I don't know what that's going to be, but it might be just like
some bleach shit.
Whatever. It might be her V-Trigger 2 brought back again. Then they said JP, who was the old man that looked kind of like G.
The cane, yeah.
Yeah, the old, yeah. So it seems like his whole thing is he's got some sort of reversal called Chernobog. That's going to be like fire and such. And like the way they refer to it as like letting it rip. So he's like, oh, he just lets the Chernobog rip. And it's like, okay, he's got some kind of DP thing going on there. He has some sort of teleporting involved. And like he's gonna use purple Shadowloo flame psycho power type stuff as well.
He could be another clone.
So
who knows?
Who knows? And DJ has a whole motif based on the weekend, like not the person, but like enjoying the weekend sunrise and weekend fun time.
Great.
He's all about jamming and whatever. And one of his supers involves pulling out maracas. So his Ultra 2 used to be he shakes them and then like does the auras. But it seems like now he's going to beat you down with maracas in his hands.
Great.
And then another one of his supers actually starts a rhythm game. And you have to keep the rhythm up. Otherwise, you drop the combo.
Is he going to sound like that guy?
I mean, that might be a little bit wild.
Might be a bit much.
Yeah, they might. We might just stick with Phil Lamar and him,
Okay.
doing his thing. But
Show
yes.
more stuff of Street Fighter 6. Come on, come on.
Oh no, where everyone's jonesing. Now that they've had a chance to touch it, we're all fiending. And
Dude, I saw this from other people, so I went and checked it myself. Going back to Strive is a problem because the matches are just so far apart.
they are far apart. But I did go back to Strive, and I am trying to, scruff up on dust up on my my Nago and stuff. The problem I'm having is just returning back to the heaven purgatory, because the ranking system kind of, just as I mentioned, it falls apart when you go from floor 10, which is essentially a compression of floors 10 to 50, and then
Yeah.
heaven, which is celestial floor, which is floors 11 to infinity. And it's kind of like, that's just not the way you should have done this. And so we just ping pong back and forth, you know. But yeah, that was interesting. Touch some Rumble versus. Still
By the
having some
way,
fun with
Wooly,
that.
I'm gonna use this experience this time to ask you, when Street Fighter 6 comes out, I'm gonna stream Street Fighter 6. I would absolutely love it if you would come on to my stream and play Street Fighter 6 with me when that game comes out.
Okay. I would like to make sure that I can play and feel comfortable with how my sets, but yeah.
No, just do it the day it comes out.
All right.
You never did this back in the old days. The shit would just come out. We just go over, be trash. We were trash that first day SF4 came out.
I've played fighting games differently. I lab, man. I love lab time, I love getting the hand on information.
So I've told this story before, but I want you to confirm it. Wooly has always loved lab time. Always. And the one that drops into my head is that when me, you, and like 3 other guys were playing Third Strike sets just for funsies, there was some weird interaction between somebody's super and like an air move, and you went, "Whoa, what's that?" And you fucking soft reset the console. So, and then just ran into training mode, and we're like, "Yeah, let's try and do that again." Meanwhile, everyone was like, "Wooly, what? No, we just want to play, dude. No one cares."
I don't remember this, but yeah, knowledge is power, man. That's the only way I get. That's the only way I get better. I'm not like, my instincts can only take me so far.
I should probably learn something from you, because boy, I would have been doing a lot better if I wasn't trying the wrong input to get the drive cancel out.
Right.
Like that, like holding down the triangle and circle on the pad and dashing out of like normals was real tough.
So not everybody's gonna necessarily understand this, because I know that it's just play. Who cares? Like, that's the looseness of doing the thing. But internally, there's a like self-loathing system in place that is like, you should know better. And every time you do a thing that you're like, why did you do that dumb thing? And it's because, I don't know the outcome here. It's like, well, then you should know.
That's fighting games.
It is, but it's also it's also the process of learning the outcome, right? And I know when I fucking do some shit where I'm like, why the fuck did you do that? Right? And it's like, and you're putting a weight on it. So I'm like, when you stomp me out 10-0, 20-0, 30-0, and I'm like, because I don't know the outcome of this thing yet, I'm like, motherfucker, you need to go learn those outcomes. That's
I think the funniest part about your story is about learning outcomes, because me and you are playing, and I'm playing against randoms for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, right? And then I play against you, and I do something that worked on everybody else, which is they're gonna do a jump in on me on my wake up to try and meaty my wake up. and I'm going to level 3 because no one would expect a level 3. And then I'm playing against you. And I'm in the middle of doing the motion. And I'm like, oh, this is so stupid. Willie has seen me do this like literally 100,000 times over 20 years. And you block it because of because of course you are. Because I'm the only person stupid enough to fucking throw out fucking 2 corkscrew blows, which is the sequel to good old Rocky being the only person insane enough to throw out 2 Hado
bursts back to back.
Speed,
yes.
And he won.
Yes. Yeah. No, at the end of the day, you're still you, and you still have your instincts, and I'm still me, and I have my instincts. But like, it just like that feeling of being in a kiddie pool and being like, man, like if I only knew what was going on here, I could like play with more like certainty, and then get to the part that's really fun when I know what's up and my mistakes are now based on my tactical errors as opposed to straight up not understanding the system.
You know, it's really interesting because everybody learns differently, right? I learn through punishment, right? So I can lab all day and lab all these different situations, but I need my instinct to fail to integrate it. I need me to try and do the thing that I want to do and have it blow up in my fucking face.
I'm not any different, right? But there are circumstances where you're like, okay, but like what has changed in my expectations of the system, for example, that is like failing me here? Is it my instincts, or is it something different, right? And again, I this is the type of shit where I'm like, I know to just someone who just wants to watch some fun, dumb matches, stop caring about that. I'm like, I know you're caring too much, Wooly. But I'm like, yeah, but this is why I love this genre so much, right? What you're hearing from me is part of what I love about it.
Okay.
Right? And hold on. I'm not done. So the thing that is, for example, what I found out was, so remember that throw loop, right? Right?
What was that? That SRK is trying to come out?
So that was SRK's failing.
Yeah.
Based on the wake up animation, you're active before the animation completes.
Yeah, I also actually found out after that, talking to somebody, that only certain SRKs are throw invincible on wake up. I think it has to be like medium or something like that.
So ever since Street Fighter V, they've been doing a thing where it's like truly invincible reversals must be EX'd. You have to spend a little bit of meter to get them. And other buttoned Shoryukens are going to be for either the fastest startup, most air invincibility, or other circumstances, or juggleability, for example, right? Or combo damage, etc. But the thing is that the wake up timing in that moment was not at all what my expectation was of what it usually is. So you start to you input it, and I'm like, whoa, why didn't that work? It's like, because you were too late.
Dude,
and I'm like, wait, why didn't that work? And it was like, oh, you were too late. And I was like, wait, what's happening?
Our brains are so different, because you're like the fucking got math equations going off in the background and all this shit. You know what my brain was doing during that throw loop? I was like, I bet I could throw him again.
Right.
I bet I could throw him again.
Now, people...
Like, that's it. That was the only thought in my fucking head.
So, EVO Grand Finals contains throw loops in it in Street Fighter V.
Yeah.
People at the highest levels of this game get throw looped. But, like, in this case, I was like... I had a moment where I was like, hold on, stop. My entire framing of what a reversal is in this game is wrong, right? I'm going to...
I found that to be the case as well, actually.
And I'm going to actively enjoy myself less having this idea of what a reversal is and then finding out that that's not true. I need to know. I need to. So I go and I find out that, yeah, you got to do it way, way earlier. Not to mention your wake-up options in general are in the corner. There's a whole game.
They're bad in this game.
There's a whole plethora of things you got to be worried about, you know? But that's exactly it, right? That wasn't a matter of taking the throw. That was a matter of the correct response is timed differently in this new setting, you know?
Okay, tell you what. I have a solution. Here's the solution. Day the game comes out, which is going to be Tuesday or Friday, right? It's one of those two, right? Come on over to the Pat Stares At show. We'll hook up Discord. We'll just have some dumb roll around the roster matches, right? Good old days. Then invite me onto getting the fighting games 1 week later, which I assume you would still be playing Street Fighter 6.
I'm gonna be playing
And
Street Fighter 6.
I guarantee you will have labbed yourself to death, especially in comparison to myself over that week.
Maybe we'll see, but yeah, that sounds like a plan. I think
you can put the pat at the beginning to the test thing, because it is true. Over time, I get weaker.
Yeah, but I mean, you're still a fucking. You still play Street Fighter, dude, and you know, you take your dubs.
Nah,
like, don't
I'm trash. Nah, what are you talking about?
So
I'm terrible. I'm garbage. I don't know what's a SPD. What is that? Some kind of salt you put in your pad thai? I don't know. What
is this? If I go watch your VODs, is this the humility I'll hear while we were playing against each other?
No.
Oh, okay. Just
no, Wooly. So this was really funny because a lot of people were really confused why I was so gracious and humble last week on the podcast. After on my show, I was like just shitting all over you and your giant pussy, and it's because you can't do that all the time. You need the pussy no balls get fucked shit only works if you can bring your friend back to zero.
Okay.
By being like a normal person for a while.
Gotcha. You need a reset.
It has to go up and down.
You got to reset.
It's the only way. If you're just pussy no balls, somebody's getting fucked every day, then eventually it'll get old. And when you kick my asshole in at like 10-0 or something, then I look like I'm only being gracious because I lost. But if I ping pong, that lets me option select into graciousness like I was humble the whole time.
Spelling out the strategy. Okay. I see it. We've always been competitive in Street Fighter. You've never like, I feel like, you know, depending on other games, if you don't play them as much, then you might not have as much experience with it, and I would take it in a lot of situations, most of them, but and I you know, like, again, it always depends, but I do feel like in Street Fighter, like, you've always been pretty solid, and it's always been competitive. I can't remember like running away with it.
It's not like Virtua Fighter. That was like the most depressing day of my goddamn fighting game life, where I was so excited to play VF5, and you came over and we played it on the 360, and I discovered that years of playing VF4 Evo against the CPU did not prepare me for a human opponent at all, because you just trounced me like 150 games in a row. And I got like all sad and shit. And
is that what happened?
Depressing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you trounced me. It was sad. And you were like, Pat.
I don't remember.
You can get good one day, I guess.
Jeez. Okay.
Like, and you were like it was depressing. It was, oh my God.
Yeah. But no, in general, let us play some Street Fighter like the good old days, and see where we get to. I will say that, like, the idea of having character crisis on day 0 is kind of hilarious, though, because I'm like, so the last match you did and then jumped off, I exited because I was like, let me switch over to Jamie, because I played him a little bit earlier and I was having such an easy time just winning with him and doing stuff, and I was like, oh,
you mean Luke?
Sorry, Luke. Yeah, and that
yeah.
Yeah, and that was the one where you jumped off, and I was like, oh, okay, fair enough, right? He's out. But I'm like, man, I can see right away that it's like Jamie is probably gonna have to work, you know, especially against like Guile, who was so incredible in that.
Yeah,
like,
so I'm
and I felt
this is not the fake graciousness. This is the real graciousness. Guile versus Jamie feels like a bad matchup.
I felt like that Guile and Guile in the beta in general, and we're looking at it after the fact with other people's opinions, Guile kind of felt like pre-release Potemkin.
A little bit.
It kind of was nuts how much people are like, okay, but hold on though. You cannot even react to an EX boom walking forward. You can't block it in time. It's like, what? Round start EX flash kick?
Yeah, no. So
what?
I if you want to put the fucking like feet on the ground for this, I can adamantly go like for the entirety of my Street Fighter 6 stream in which I've invited you, I can vouch I will not play anything other than a newcomer.
Oh,
and we will
no,
just
don't
we
do
will
anything.
just do the newcomer shit.
Don't vouch anything. Let's just, like you said, you go around the roster and you know, press buttons. But I'm absolutely just like, every time I see an interaction, I'm like, okay, how does this go down? What is it gonna, you know, whatever.
Jamie's
the
a
mind,
really
heart,
good
body.
example. Jamie's a great example because it wasn't until like a week after the beta ended that I understood what some of his moves even fucking did.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm thinking about how like also just like I was trying to play normal footsies and getting annihilated by drive impacts when I should have been playing neo footsies. Yeah.
It's a whole.
You got to play neo footsies.
Universe.
You know, drive impact becomes less scary when you're ready to counter it. You know,
drive impact feels like the perfect length because if I'm sitting there going, I think they're going to drive impact, it's like insanely easy to react to. But in any other situation, I found it to be unreactable. Like if I was watching for it, I could react. If I wasn't, I couldn't.
Well, yes, it's what my good friend Thilo, who's talked about you know, high level fighting game tech and whatnot, has called an attention spike, right? And what you have to do is like, you know, you have a moment of like, in this next 5 seconds, I expect it'll come, and you get ready to react to it, and then it doesn't come, and you decrease the mental stack again. You build up the mental stack of expectation, and then you decrease it, you know. But people who have been playing Street Fighter for years were like, but I just want to do Ryu crouching medium kick into Hadoken the way I always do and play footsies. And it's like, that's gone now. It's
funny because
you have to earn that after showing you can react.
It did to footsies what Third Strike did to my footsies, which is, okay, they're wiggling. Are they gonna do low forward kick? You know, is Ken gonna do, or Chun-Li gonna do low forward kick? Well, I could try and parry that if I like felt it. If I felt it, I could do it. And now it's like, we'll just fucking drive impact them through it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's the same process. The only difference is the execution is a little more lenient. Though Chun-Li gets to blow up that whole mechanic for free. Like all her shit is multi-hit, so
multi-hitting buttons really good.
Blanca's probably gonna get to ignore some of it as well.
We'll see, man. I don't know what they're gonna do. I hope, again, as long as I can maintain some ability to say fuck your fireballs, because that's kind of what I really want in a character, whether it's Blanca or Nikali. Like, I want the ability to kind of go, fuck your fireball. You know, you're zoning, I'm going to call that out. Because zoning is you take a default right to the horizontal space of the stage. And when I picked Luke and had the ability to just like, oh yeah, the horizontal space of the stage is mine now, again. And then whenever I feel like it, I can stall for a second and try to make you beta jump out or whatever. Learning to walk forward and block properly the old school way, the Street Fighter way, is it's an old skill, and it's necessary, but it's also just like, if you fuck up, how bad is the repercussion going to be? And that depends on who you're playing. If you fuck up against Jamie, I keep saying Jamie, but I mean to say Luke. If you fuck up against Luke, it'll be, you know, it could be rough. You fuck up against Guile, that's it, you know?
Yeah. And you fuck up against Manon when she's got level 3 meta.
Sure.
The end.
It could be the
right?
end.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh, man, we got 3 command grabbers. Yay! Hooray! I'm so happy.
I mean, Jamie gets a command grab, but you got to earn it.
It's not the same. That is a...
No, it's a yin and yang. It's a yin and yang grab. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, anyway, no, it's fun kind of seeing the post-beta commiseration and knowledge sharing going on with this game. And, You know, people kind of coming to, like, I guess just terms with, like, okay, uh, old Street Fighter knowledge will only carry me so far. This game is doing some wild new shit. And I thought of, because there was a moment where I was thinking of an analogy to the question that always comes up, especially on getting to fighting games, which is this a good game for me to get started with? Should I start here, or should I get this game and start playing it, right? And I mean, the short answer is yes. There's no better time, you know, like as usual, to get in.
There's no better time to get in than the day it comes out.
What I thought of was essentially, if you would imagine that, when you start playing a fighting game like Street Fighter 6 on day one, that is everyone at a marathon that's going to run this race, and they're at the starting line, and then the day the game comes out is the gun being fired, and you get to jog alongside everybody. Now, you will be seeing people who have ran marathons in the past. Someone else who ran a marathon called Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5 will be very conditioned and ready for the cardio and the body to take it all the way through at a good pace, and they're going to have the knowledge to get them further ahead. But that's not
really weird. The Street Fighter 3 marathoners keep crouching randomly whenever another person gets near them. It's really bizarre.
But you're not necessarily you don't have to be concerned with that person. You want to have fun with other people who are doing a first-time marathon, who are jogging right alongside you. And if you're going slowly, you're gonna find a whole pack of people that are gonna be pretty slow too, but at least there will be there with you, and that's how you're gonna have fun going down this race. But if you show up late to the marathon, you can still enjoy the run. You can still enjoy the distance
faster than the others to catch up,
or have a sense of satisfaction for just accomplishing the jog on your own. But you're not going to be with the others that are there, that started, that are at the same speed as you, but they just came a little earlier, you know?
Now you have to remember, and this is really important, because if you start late, you might be a little bit behind. Luckily, for something that's big and popular like Street Fighter, particularly if it has good rollback, there's always going to be shitty marathon runners. Mm-hmm. Always.
You'll pass by the rabbit taking its nap on the way. People that are going to just take a break.
People who are trash.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've been playing a lot of Rumbleverse, and you know, it's a very interesting experience at Rumbleverse. You fight a bot, and you're beating the bot to death, and you're like, wow, what a stupid robot. And then you kill it, and the name and the fame amount that you get makes it clear that, no, that was a player.
Yeah.
They were just trash. They might have been a child. Oops. Fucking get good, loser.
But it amounts to the idea that essentially, if you go, nah, I'll just wait a bit and deal with, and maybe I'll consider it later. It's like, fair enough, but consider that the people that are with you, that are your peers that are learning together, they're gonna be further ahead by that point, and you're gonna have a less fun if that's what you're looking for. If you're self-sufficient and you're like, I want to play this so that I can reach the finish line and I don't care who's near me, then this doesn't apply to you. But for a lot of people, they're looking to enjoy it for the same reasons a lot of us do, and that means you'd be smart to start the day that the gunshot fires and we start running together, you know?
So you know what's an interesting version of this is that I have a bunch of friends in my Discord that are interested in getting Street Fighter 6. And the usual thing that happens is that when a bunch of those guys get Street Fighter or Killer Instinct or Guilty Gear or whatever, is that they decide that the primary way that they're going to play it is that they're going to log on to Discord and shoot the shit and talk, blah, 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 and play it within that group, right? Which has a problem because it's maybe 5, 6, 7 guys, right? And the problem is someone, not necessarily me, someone is going to fucking rise up and become the hard drive article, right? And the issue that's always been is that the reason why playing with your pals is so much better isn't just because it's your pals, is because when it's your pals, you just get match after match after match after match after match, and you can mitigate all the latency problems that you run into. and you just spend so much more time fighting, and most of those guys don't spend time just hitting up random matches, because they're not enjoying the game in and of itself. They're enjoying it as a group activity, right? 6 at the starting line is going to be big, and the net code was excellent. So it definitely enables more of like, oh yeah, I really enjoyed playing with my friends on Friday. Maybe I'll get in a couple matches here or there Sunday morning, or what have you, and then can rise that up. Because the worst thing that happened to Killer Instinct was when I started playing General Ram, and I then ruined it for all of my friends because they didn't want to play against General Ram because it was infuriating. And then they kind of all stopped playing Killer Instinct.
But I'm also remembering how over the years, various games that you're like, oh, that does look cool. And you're like, so I tried it, and then I just got trounced on ranked, and I was like, man, this doesn't feel good. And you're like, fuck this, everyone's too good now, right?
Yeah, and part of that is sour grapes, blunt. The other part is like when I wanted to get into Street Fighter V, the experience of waiting 6 minutes to play a Street Fighter V match only to get trounced in 40 seconds and then go back to waiting for 5 minutes was miserable.
Right.
Fucking hated it. Weirdly enough, Xbox 360 Third Strike, which was a not the good one, the OE for the Xbox, because that was all player matches and all player rooms. I actually had way more fun playing that, even though people would really beat on my fucking ass on there, because I could just get into more matches more quickly. Also was Third Strike, and Third Strike is just Third Strike.
Yeah, and I mean it's similar to like you jump on Fightcade, you're looking for beasts, like that's where you find them. That's what you're hunting for. So there's places to go for a particular fighting game experience, certainly. But the ability to fight, you start Pokemon and Professor Oak is like, pick your starter. By the way, Gary started a year ago. He's already got 4 badges. Good luck. You're like, oh, well, it would have been cool if we started at the same time, but I guess I'll try to catch up, It's
just like, I'm thinking back to Street Fighter 4. And I'm thinking back to, hey man, you want to come over and play Street Fighter 4? Yeah, I love Street Fighter. And a friend of mine came over, and I picked Adon. And I was like, I wonder if I can beat him with Adon's roundhouse. And I did. And then he never wanted to play Street Fighter 4 ever again. So in my heart, that's obviously a great experience for everyone. But then it meant I didn't have somebody to play Street Fighter 4 at my house. Because they didn't want to anymore.
And then you queue up the hard drive article. Yeah. So there's a little bit of that. And I guess one other thing that's a fun topic is I met Legion. And I'm playing Mass Effect 2, and we got to that point.
Legion's
and
great.
That is such a fun, good, cool thing to happen. And everything that implies,
recontextualization,
so good. And I was talking, and we were trying to figure out. I'm like, apparently there was discussion about like him, like every character. They didn't pick what order people were going to be joining you in, so everyone has lines for every mission. And like the idea that
Legion.
Yeah, so like they could have picked an order where he started with you in the beginning, and I'm just like, that would have been a horrible idea, because you're already getting your bearings coming back to life for yourself and trying to understand the new context of the sequel, and to have this massive world recontextualizer already dropped into your lap would have been way too soon. It's so
did somebody tell you that Legion was in fact actually supposed to be the first character?
Someone said that, and then Asuna corrected to say everybody has lines for everything.
He was so in the original version of Mass Effect 2, after Shepard's death, you were supposed to play as Legion, going to try and find Shepard. and the bonus mission that is like the Normandy crash site was supposed to be like part of his opening level. He was part of the prologue.
Whoa,
Um,
interesting. Okay.
and they're like, this is way too weird for people that didn't play Mass Effect 1,
Okay.
because they're like, who is this robot?
Okay,
Who,
that's a different game. If they wanted to do that, that's a different game where like from the first second you start it, you're like, what the fuck? You know, narratively, that's crazy. That could have been cool. That could have been cool. I like the journey.
so there's so you notice he's got like a piece of Shepard's armor.
Don't say anything about it. Yes, I did notice that.
No. So here's the thing. There's no answer to that in game because it's a leftover from the design of his character when he was part of the tutorial.
Okay.
They're like you ask him where he got it, and he goes, and it's like that goes nowhere because it's part of a version of the game that no longer exists.
I see. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So the recontextualizer is really strong coming mid or late game. You can do it from the start, but that's a whole different plot, man. And you're pulling a Raiden on people as well.
Yeah.
You know? Which you got to, if you're going to pull a Raiden, you better be sure about that.
It's just like every time you talk to the Koreans and then they talk about the Geth, you're like, you guys sound like assholes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to talk to a Geth, and the Geth is like the most reasonable, nice person you've met in the entire game.
It's so interesting. Well, so I had a moment where we were going and before we get to the flotilla, I had a moment where we entered that like old Korean space, and as we were visiting the planets and reading the codex or the entries for them on the planet scanning. I was like, hold on a second. Wait. Back this up. Go to the Codex. Pull up the fucking Geth Rebellion or the not Geth Rebellion, but whatever, the Korean War.
Yeah.
And read this again. And then the guy, sure enough, goes and as soon as they became self-aware, the Quarians tried to kill them. And in self-defense, they fucking said, please don't. You know? And I was just like, yeah. You know, you kind of take for granted that everyone treats this as a like full on like, oh no, they've become aware Skynet is going to kill us, let's wipe them situation, when that line was sitting there the whole time, you know. And I'm glad I reread that, because then you get through that whole court scene where, you know, like the bad guy is the one going, maybe we shouldn't try to go and genocide them, you know. And it's interesting. And then here now you got to stop and take a fucking minute, and you can continue down that line and be like, you evil fuckers, we shot you, you guys tried to kill us the whole first game, whatever, I know you Geth. And he's like, you've never met me. You know, we've never met. And just such simple one-word answers when necessary, you know. And just like, yeah, those heretics are nuts, they're assholes, fuck those guys, that's not us, they're crazy, we hate them too. And you're like, oh my god, man, fuck.
It's like, well, how'd they get like that? Oh, they answered a math question 1 digit off. And it's not even an incorrect answer, it's just a different one. And that's it.
And it's like, they're in one especially, they're clearly just putties. They're clearly just robot antagonists that you're meant to shoot, because this is a shoot bang RPG and you need something to shoot at. And if it's not a Krogan for hire, then it's a robot, man. Shut up. Don't think too hard about it, you know? And
it also gives you the nice tension, because you've got Miranda and Jack that don't like each other for obvious reasons. And now you got Tali and a fucking Geth on the ship.
Which I was waiting for that moment, and it didn't happen.
I saw some random clip of you just arguing with Reggie, and you're like, Tali just shits all over Liara, man. You're crazy. And I'm glad that you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he's crazy.
There's a reason Tali and Garrus are just like widely super popular. But also, Tali has like one part of her that fucking sucks, and it's whenever the Geth come up. She starts to get real crazy.
So where I'm at, I tried to force some sort of information, and she hasn't reacted to anything yet. We got one thing where we landed on Tachanka, and she says something to the effect of like, yes, like Tachanka's all wasted and their homeworld is all fucked up. Oh no, Legion says like, oh, we didn't do this back for the Korean homeworld, and Tali is basically like, shit, I'm fucking this up entirely, but the exchange is essentially the Geth did not destroy the Korean homeworld so that it was unrecognizable in the same way that Tali's that Tachanka was, and she was
yeah,
like,
in fact, the Geth have maintained the Korean homeworld.
exactly, and Tali was like, oh well, we were expecting to get it back, effectively, but not quite realizing that like the Geth restraint was in place, despite their fighting this all out like war, this sacred, to get their homeworld back.
You talk to Legion about the nature of the way the war looked from the Geth perspective?
No, we have not done that yet. We've just talked to them about the heretic idea and the fact that, like, yeah, this is not what most of them represent. And then there was also the really fucking crazy detail where it was like, by the way, that's a fraction of the group that are the Geth forces in total. If they actually wanted to war with everyone, they have the numbers to do that.
They could totally do it.
The ones you've been shooting and worried about this entire time are like a pittance compared to the full forces, right?
Well, they can just make more.
Yeah. So,
and it puts Krogan into a different context, right? And like the Krogan birth rate was the whole thing, but like the Geth can just make more Geth, and they get more intelligent the more Geth they make.
So this is the other part I'm waiting to find out more about, but it's like Legion is special because Legion has 1,000 or however many in one. So therefore, Legion can operate as a smart cluster Geth. However, the average Geth that I run into that's non-heretical, which is an interesting choice of word, by the way. That's cool that they choose that specific word,
Well, same thing that he chooses the name Legion.
Right, biblical. The idea that you're going to run into a non-heretical Geth besides Legion, that individual, according to the Codex, should still be pretty basic and animal instinct rudimentary behavior.
By itself, it's like a toaster.
Yes, right? And so that's where it's like, oh, okay, so don't also get it twisted. Legion is special as well. The average Geth you run into, you should still treat them with respect and the fact that they're self-aware, they have sentience, and but they're not all going to be like Legion, certainly.
It's always been my interpretation that the reason why he uses the phrase heretical and the reason why he uses the term Legion is that as he is talking to Shepard, he is using his knowledge of Earth history to use terms that would make sense to Shepard.
Yes, but he actually elaborates and specifically says, I like, because you didn't say deviant or like defect or anything like that. You said heretical. And it was like, or it might have been an entry in the Codex, or I forget, but it's addressed. And it's basically like the implication being that that's because they believe in self-determination and they believe in the Geth, who are heretics, have the right to believe what they believe. They can choose that path. We're not going to inhibit that and inherently say that that's defective. It's simply a different conclusion,
Right.
So it's akin to religious belief. It's not going to change whether you have, it's not going to change your rights, essentially, but it does change the way we perceive you. And certainly if you're looking to wipe us all out, then we're going to be against that.
You're talking to Legion. He's like, we believe in the right to self-determine. And meanwhile, you go over and hang out with the Legacy of Cain gang on the fucking Floatilla. It's like, we need to kill every Geth that ever lived and fucking eat their cyber chips.
I don't regret my choices, but I'm damn curious to know what it would have been like to walk into that courtroom with Legion behind you. I'm damn curious.
Hey, guess what? When I did my playthrough, because I knew everything and all that, there is a very complex series of events. You have to do things in a very special order to drag him in with you. And they don't like it.
Yeah? The Floatilla doesn't like it?
They don't like it.
Yeah, no. That again, I'm like, that must be a completely different fucking scene, Anyway,
it's similar to like dragging what's his name? It's you take Tally and fucking Garrus to Morden's mission,
Oh
and
yeah.
they're like, "Why are you bringing me in here? I'm going to die. What are you doing?"
um. Shit. What was the? There's something else I was just thinking of. I forgot. Oh yeah. And then the other bit that was really interesting was I also did the Liara DLC, the Shadow Broker stuff.
Oh, you
And
did that?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And that's fucking interesting because it's like, well, once again, the DLC has all the community jokes and all the money and all the memes because it's post-release,
Oh
so
boy,
they
does
can
it.
work that shit in there. But the idea that's always threatening in the background of like, oh, who is the mysterious shadow broker? Let's uncover him to find what is that? What the fuck is that? What?
I
And you're like, oh
I
no,
think
this world of sci-fi means you can meet something and go, I don't know what you are.
I think I think the Shadow Broker reveal is one of the best things in that game because it's a Shadow Broker. It's an information guy. What do you expect? You expect like a spindly little Volus or some
Sure.
little man behind a
Sure.
computer thing, and like, no, I can be a huge fucking monster that engages you in a boss fight because fuck you.
A
It's
pretty
it's
fun boss fight
sci-fi. I
too.
can do whatever.
Yeah. Also, the fun thing about that DLC with the Spectre you fight beforehand too, where it's like, hey, you want to see what charge looks like from the other side?
Yeah, it sucks.
And you just fucking have a teleport battle? I'm like, what? Oh, man. So, yeah, that was fucking interesting and fun, And then, of course, your reward is to sit there and read like 3 hours of fucking amazing logs. Those were incredible.
Did you get Legion's fucking gaming
Not yet.
records?
We didn't walk back to that.
Oh, they're good.
I got him afterwards, but everyone has said be sure to go back to check out his data. Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about that specifically so bad, but you didn't rate it. Okay.
Yeah. In fact, right now, hold on. Min's asking. He's like, "Yeah, do we put all that reading into a single episode?" I'm like, "Nah, it's content. Put that up as a normal."
No,
thing.
that's stuff. That's good stuff. That's
Yeah.
good stuff. Oh, did you get Grunt's search history?
Yes.
Yeah, sharks, man.
Yeah. Ernest Hemingway going through the books, the audiobooks, fucking deletes the one that's anti-war and then just goes back to sharks. Dinosaurs.
So
Yeah.
you're at the tail end of Mass Effect 2, and you're at the point where I really have to point out again, it's something I've been saying about the Mass Effect series forever, and it's like I don't at the point you're at, I was like, collectors, who gives a shit? Like, I don't give a fuck about the fucking collectors. I just want to fucking go do heists and fucking find out secret bullshit and read my team's emails.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't need to save the world, man. I really don't.
So yeah, we'll see where this goes. But that I'm glad that I said it before. They're making up for the lack of Mass Effect 1. You feel like Kirk on the bridge, right?
Yeah.
Or Stewart. You're flying through the galaxy, landing on planets, checking out what's going on, beaming back up, and then onward. And in this, you're like, no, we're on a mission. We got to gather Ocean's 11 and then go do it. And everything is much more streamlined and rushed and action-paced. But you don't want to sacrifice the larger picture of the world build to do that. Mm-hmm. And here, they found ways.
Have you been? I'm sure Asuna has told you that Arrival is last.
Yeah, everyone's
like Arrival is like
yeah.
after you beat the game.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Arrival came out like way after and was like, this is the lead-in like thing.
Legion doesn't name itself. The name was given by EDI. Oh, yeah, that is true. EDI jumps in on that conversation. That is true.
I love that. It's like, I'm a AI. I'm a different AI Mass Effect says we should not be alive. Let's chat about
What's up with
how
that?
we're abominations unto the Lord.
Yeah. And if you just listen to the at face value, you're given good reason to think like, oh fuck, yeah, VI is the way we need to do it, because the moment they become AI, we get a Skynet situation. And then you meet one in Mass Effect 1 who's an ATM that's trying to kill you. There's a side mission on the Citadel where you're talking to a fucking bank machine that's like, I will destroy myself. I see you there, Shepard. And you're like, God damn it, AI does suck. This isn't good.
The only, and don't forget the lunar AI that you have to take care of in that side mission.
It was kind of nuts. So they give you incentive and reason to like buy into it, but yeah, such a simple, effective.
But Edie's sassy and Legion's cool.
A simple but effective line. Just, you've never met me, done. And you can continue to be insane afterwards too, and be like, I don't care, and be crazy Shepard. But yeah. Anyways, so obviously, Mass Effect continues over on the channel, as does Bayo 2. Having a good time with that. Lots of fun.
Oh, I bet that's some good times over at the Bayo 2 world.
Yeah. I pulled out all my amiibos. They're sitting on the couch next to me, and I'm fucking scanning them in, and I'm getting all the costumes, and we're dressing up, and we're getting our fucking our gems and our rings, and I'm playing Nintendo. I'm playing Nintendo like I used to do.
I just saw something, and I'm just like laughing internally. Like, it's really funny. The Geth get a second shot at like explanation, but the Batarians
never
don't.
That's the first thing yes, immediately after that conversation, I'm just standing there going, wow, still nothing for the Batarians. Also, let's be real, the Vorcha, like,
the Vorcha are goblins. The Vorcha are like demons.
The Vorcha take the role that the old Geth used to take. You're now the disposable shoot monsters that are going to be bad guys going, or beep, boop, boop. They're putties. They're all putties.
The codex on Vorcha is like it's like maybe the most racist thing I've ever heard in any fantasy or sci-fi setting ever, which is they don't live long enough. So like there's a couple Vorcha that like integrated into society, but because it takes them so long, they basically spend like 6 years becoming like a normal person and then immediately die.
Yeah.
And so like most Vorcha are like, that's stupid, I don't care, rah, 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 I'm a monster.
Yeah, no, the game is like, you might be concerned about the fact that these are dumb monsters that barely count as people, but don't worry, they don't live long. Yeah, I guess. So just step over them on Omega as you make your way through the slums. Be sure to step over the piss and the Vorcha that just fucking is strung out, and feel no pity for their existence. It won't last much longer.
I don't.
And don't stare too.
They're less durable than the fucking automated robot guys that you shoot.
Don't stare too deeply into their Giorno Giovanna holes.
Nah, I won't.
All right. So yeah, check out the playthrough. So we're doing that. We're doing Bayo 2, and of course, getting into fighting games over on Wooly Versus, as well as Wooly Versus the Algorithm, which fucking great shit dropping over there as usual. If you haven't popped in a minute, take a look. We got Melee Grand Finals outside Quilag's domain, BlightCon 2022. As well as Wooly versus whatever went up there as well, so you can go watch us watching your trash. Good stuff.
It's trash, dude. It's bad. It's
more
bad
of that to come in the future. I'm not going to be asking for submissions on every one, because the list is long enough that we can just pop them up.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's wild how many submissions come in.
So I'll probably ask for submissions maybe once a month at most, once every 2 months even, and like when we get low, we'll start asking again. But there's more than enough to go a couple streams worth. So yeah, that's me.
All right, let's see. What the fuck did I do this week? I have to go look over at the list. Okay, so I played a shit zillion tons of Rumbleverse.
Nice.
I played so much Rumbleverse.
What's your current favorite build?
5 strength, 3 stamina, 2 health. And my favorite is Dolphin Dive with Diamond Cutter.
Yes.
Ruby Crusher.
Yeah. Okay. I
Because it's
Yep.
like
The combo.
whip into Ruby Crusher, into dive, into Ruby Crusher,
Yep.
into they're gonna stay on the floor a little too long because they're scared, into dive, into Ruby Crusher.
Damage.
Like
It's good.
Just die. Just
Yeah.
die.
I was running like some gas meta for a bit, like the poison breath stuff was pretty effective. Not as effective anymore, I find. People are pretty wise to it. And 100 hand slap is just nice and comfy.
It's just so easy to do in a bunch of situations.
Mm-hmm. And then you can decide to roll out of it, or if you think they know you're gonna roll, you can then not roll or roll late.
Just wait a little bit.
Wait a little bit. But dolphin dive with either whatever diamond cutter, stunner, stone cold stunner, or
Ruby Crusher.
Yeah, or you do what I like is tackle, right? Just a spear. So you spear them, you do the volleyball dive, you pick them back up, and you spear them again, and like that with a build of like, let's say 8 strength, 2 life is death.
I had a really incredible run in which I was like 8 life, 2 strength. And I discovered that, like, originally I was like, oh, this is going to be really annoying because I don't have enough damage to kill them. It's like, I'm doing okay. What I found was that they actually had a incredibly difficult time trying to kill me because, like, a 5 strength full super would still only do half my health. Like, just
if you give yourself sustainability
durable.
and survivability. Yeah. Hey there, Susie. How wonderful this timeline is, right? Yeah, I see a Sphere
Hey,
Hunter.
girl, what up?
How you doing?
Friend of the show, Susie the Sphere Hunter, in the chat.
Yeah, we had a big old commiserating chat earlier in the episode.
Oh yeah.
No. I'm saying you and I did earlier in this episode.
I'm like, I thought you were talking about the Bayo episode. Like she called in because I'm like, oh, that's cool. But no, you're talking about me.
Yes. We talked about all the fun of the fucking
all the fun times.
Yes.
So I talked about let's see, Rumbleverse, right? I played Scorn. Scorn is this generation's brutal legend. Do you remember playing Brutal Legend?
I do remember Brutal Legend.
Do you remember playing Brutal Legend's demo?
No.
Do you remember watching a trailer for Brutal Legend?
Yes.
And being like, yeah, Brutal Legend. And then you start playing Brutal Legend and you're like, yeah, Brutal Legend. What is this? What is this game?
Not what it promised.
Is this an RTS? Scorn is like that. Scorn showed off an incredibly large amount of I'm wandering around in robot penis land. It's all Giger. And I'm gonna pick up a gun, and my gun's made out of dicks. Whoa, cool. That is a puzzle game like Myst.
What?
That happens to occasionally hand you a very limited firearm. That is a puzzle game.
It is not marketed that way at all. Every video,
sure isn't.
Every screenshot is literally a first-person shooter gun bouncing in your view.
And somebody pointed out, and they're right, and the combat is bad.
Okay.
But as a wander around a Giger-esque dick nightmare, while every form of machinery seems designed to create the most alien/human suffering possible as you wander around getting just blasted with like robot cum. It's really cool. It's really cool.
Well, so the brutal legend analogy ends with the fact that that genre switch was not what you were looking for.
It's all, yeah, it's not what I was looking for.
Here,
And
is it? Does that switch then work?
no.
Uh,
So here's the problem. It being a puzzle game and it being a wander around, try and figure out the puzzles, to trap you into this incredible environment. Like, really 11 out of 10 presentation. It's so cool. It's so weird. It's so upsetting. But then I'm like, okay, what's the puzzle? And the puzzle is Tower of Hanoi. Okay, what's the next puzzle? Move a thing is going to spin around a circle and figure out where it's going to land, so you can click in on it. Okay, what's the next puzzle? What order do I have to send this elevator up to get to the next area? And it's like, oh, like it's the most fantastical possible weird setting, and I'm sitting here doing slide puzzles.
so,
And then occasionally shooting a monster badly.
how does it stack up to the other evil penis game, Agony?
Oh, it's Agony's a piece of shit. Agony sucks. This is a million times better, but like the parts where I'm wandering around and going, oh, what? Are the parts that are good. The parts where you play the game are the parts where I don't care. Like, it would be better if it had no gameplay at all. Like,
or what if it just told you
if it was a ride that you go through, or it would be more interesting.
Or what if there was just no like gun prop in the corner that's popping up to make you think you're gonna FPS it? You know, because
no, the puzzles aren't very enjoyable.
Yeah, the swerve is a really risky proposition. It's not always a bad idea. Sometimes it's really cool.
Inscription did a good job with
is
it.
a great example of a swerve. Exactly.
Yeah, sure was.
I can probably think of, there's probably at least another one or two out there where you're like, ooh, that was a good swerve. But
yeah,
here, that not in the brutal legend way. That's no good.
It's really funny because the devs recently have been like, we told people it was a puzzle game. I'm like, the fucking store page doesn't. The fucking store page and the trailer make it look like a shooter.
Okay, no wait. Yeah, Inscription is a good swerve followed by a not good swerve. There's two.
Yeah.
There's more than one swerve, but then there's some cool swerve again. There's three swerves.
But yeah,
first swerve good, second swerve bad, third swerve good again.
Scorn is really, 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 really cool. It is a game that I want to see.
Okay, not play.
It's not a game I want to play.
Okay.
But the problem with this is that the cool weird stuff that it has is the coolest weird stuff. It's like my mouth was agape more during that than like for months combined prior. Like, it's out there. It's wild.
Okay.
But not good. Like, the shooting is actually just bad. Like, it's bad. It's not good. And it also has one of the worst checkpoint systems I've ever seen. There's no way to manually save, and there's no indication of any checkpoint. So when you finish playing, you just have to hope it doesn't put you back too far.
Okay, that's just shitty quality of life.
It sure is.
Jesus.
It sure is. So I played that. I played One More Gate, a Wakfu Legend that was sponsored.
A Wakfu game. Okay.
Yeah, it's a Wakfu game. You know what it is? It's Slay the Spire. It's a card game that is like, it's literally Slay the Spire. And it's a pretty good Slay the Spire clone. I don't know nothing about Wakfu. I don't know nothing about it.
Plague has told me some super cool shit about it. And
yeah, I saw his video, but none of that comes through. It's Wakfu the Spire. It's good, but I can't see anyone
is it
going.
Wakfu Doofus or Wakfu Dofus?
I don't fucking know, dude. I don't
I'm not asking you. I'm asking the
You are.
universe.
I'm here. But yeah, I can't see anyone picking up Slay the Spire over it. Sorry, I can't see anyone picking it up over Slay the Spire because Slay the Spire just kind of rules the roost on that. But it is cool. I played a cool little indie game demo called Space Tale, which is about a Russian space dog that gets lost. It's basically a Metroidvania, very kind of Hollow Knight-y or like Ori. It's very clearly indie, but
Mm-hmm.
it's also really cool and has a very bizarre communication mechanic with like enemies that you can get them to do things for you. That'll be coming out later. I only played a half-hour demo, but it was cool. And I have just tons of shit. I played 40K Dark Tide, which is the Vermintide sequel, but it takes place in 40K.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that game is great.
What
It's
what are you playing as in it?
you are playing as rejects of the Imperium of Man. So you're playing as a regular Imperial Guardsman, or an Ogryn, or a Psyker, or a Inquisitor. So not Space
Not a
Marines.
space marine.
Not a Space Marine.
Hmm.
And you're dealing with like the final boss of the game could be a Chaos Space Marine. Like that's the
Yeah,
scaling that you're
that's
dealing
what I'm looking for. Is just like, really, are you going to be walking around as a space marine shooting rats? You know?
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Okay.
It's you're the losers. Like one of the playable characters is a Imperial Guardsman, guys who dies by the trillions in 40K, and it is a Left 4 Dead like Vermintide was in 40K, and the setting carries it a lot. The setting's real strong, and they use it really strong. It plays really well. It has a really good mix of melee and shooting, and they have the 40K thing where shooting at enemies that have guns will suppress them, so you can run up on them in melee, and vice versa.
Nice.
Uh, and it's just really, really promising and cool, and feels great, and runs so badly. I cannot believe the game is out in 6 weeks. Like the game is just sweating and crying as you are trying to play it.
Wow.
It is falling to pieces. So hopefully they turn around the performance in a couple weeks.
And
But
you're
it
playing
is,
we're playing with 4 people, right?
yeah. It is absolutely fucking falling apart. Apparently the beta is an older build, but like fucking shit. Like
Damn.
nobody could get any fight to run over like 40 frames. Like no matter what you did to it, no matter what you turned off, and it would crash all the time, and it's a fucking mess. So hopefully optimization helps that.
That kind of
But cool, very cool.
that reminds me of just for a second. I was like, we probably should have mentioned the parts where Street Fighter 6 is the beta, the crashes and the nonsense that happened outside of the fighting, and all the fact that like walking around the lobby with a stick felt awful.
Oh yeah, sure did.
They really got to fix
You
that
know,
shit. Yeah.
SF6 runs at 60 on the deck. People were running the unsupported beta, and they were able to
Wow.
plug their fight sticks into it. So,
No shit.
uh, so it will probably be a portable like setup game.
Hmm.
They got Strive doing that too as well. You mentioned Strive last time when I talked about
Yeah.
the deck.
Mm-hmm.
Since like when it came out, no, but since then it has been turned into a portable setup type of game.
Unofficially with fan patches.
Well, no, it's officially supported now.
Oh, okay, but like you don't have to do anything extra.
No,
Okay, all right, cool.
no, just turn the settings down a little bit. Don't run it at max.
Okay.
And last but not least, I caught up on 14's Hildebrand quest line. There's a specific reason I mentioned this. Hildebrand is their goofy fucking like model Gmod fucking shenanigan quest line that they do every couple of years, where it's just like absolute slapstick zany nonsense, and you'll have like characters spinning around and like the rigging on their face will just completely break.
Yeah.
Like completely different in tone from the rest of the game, and they're great. And the reason why I caught up on that is the only reason I bring it up is because of the social connotation. Hildebrand is going to be a mandatory step towards the Relic Weapon series that comes out tomorrow. And I want to bring this up because seeing the absolute power gaming, I play this serious video game fucking meltdowns when being told that the next step in best in slot progression is locked behind a 5-year-old series of gag quests that you must do in order to unlock the ability to start working on your weapon has been the funniest thing I have ever seen playing FF14. Just the absolute complete fury at, like, what do you mean I have to play this fucking stupid, like, these quests are so stupid, they're for babies, I don't care, I don't fuck. Like, it's like there's sequences where you have to rub an old man with oil because of some stupid slapstick shenanigans.
Well, I was gonna say, like, when you say gag quest, what do you mean exactly?
No, I mean like Looney Tunes.
Okay.
I mean absolute
Oil down the old man.
Nonsense. Oil down the old man so he can become a fucking Power Ranger and kick you to the moon. Nonsense. And just seeing people just getting like, no, don't want to. How do I skip it? What's the guide to skip it the fastest? I want to start working on my fucking cool relic, and like, I hope to Christ that the weapons are all like gag weapons. Like they're all hideous, like burly old men in the shape of swords. Just
muscle march. But you're not.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you're doing shit for completionist's sake, like the enjoyment of the thing or not enjoyment of the thing, I imagine it's almost divorced from your sense of completion duty.
Yeah, but this is the kind of thing that had never been mandatory for anything that actually mattered, ever. So people who want to do their relic, and it's tomorrow, are like, well, catch up on 9 years of goofy silliness. And it's just, some people just got no levity at all.
Mm-hmm.
And when they're playing their serious game about cool stuff, will just lose their damn minds if something is like not to their taste humor wise, or just it's just funny. It's just really fucking funny. And tomorrow it's going to come out, and the weapon crafting process, it's always like, oh, you got to get old memories and this mineral and all that MMO shit. It's going to be like, you need to pay money so you can fucking oil up Godbert so he can do some stupid suplex to your arm. It's gonna be silly.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait for just the fucking meltdown about it. I'm so excited. Just people being mad that they're being forced to do something silly is so like heartwarming to me.
That's
like, you humorless pieces of shit.
That's the good kind of butt mad.
Oh yeah.
I gotta use the bathroom.
I don't want to be a pirate. Yeah, me too.
All right. BRB. All right. So, quick word from our sponsors. This week, the podcast is sponsored by Uncommon Goods, who are in the business of bringing you unusual gifts, unusual things that'll be great for, when you're shopping for someone to try to find something off the beaten path. Definitely check out Uncommon Goods. It's the name pretty much describes exactly what you're getting. It's excuse me. You're getting you're getting gift ideas that are maybe a little less typical, maybe a little less just obvious about things. If you're someone who has a hard time coming up with creative gift ideas, they're pretty much the go-to spot. And you can just scroll through.
Me, because I can't come up with gift ideas for nothing.
They're a great place for it. You can just go through. They have gifts, and they're all separated into different price categories. And you can just scroll through and see all kinds of nifty little things and inventions that are just like, oh, I didn't even know I needed this quality of life upgrade. But here it is, things that help with cooking. If the person you're buying for is in the kitchen, it's things that help with just fun little games, things that help with gardening, life, bed, house, whatever the category. They've got just a ton of little doodads and items. I've often described the touch of death that comes from my wife's inability to keep a plant alive, and just being real about it. This is what it is.
It's worrying.
You can get self-watering plants that would defy even that level of power. And Uncommon Goods, perfect opportunity for that. Self-watering, they light themselves as well. All you got to do is plug it in and watch them grow. So that's the type of stuff that I'm like, damn, that's perfect. We need that. I need that help. So they're often handmade in the U.S. as well, high quality. They work with a number of small local inventors, creators, and things like that. Holidays coming up, of course. You want to make sure you can find the right thing for the right people in your life. And doing so, supporting small artists, small businesses, and independent little mom and pop shops and stuff. Perfect ideas for all your loved ones. What does that say? Oh, no, never mind that. Anyways, you can get 15% off your next gift. Go to uncommongoods.com/superbeast. That's uncommongoods.com/superbeast for 15% off. Don't miss out on the limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, they're all out of the ordinary. Yeah. You buy bad gifts, buy better gifts. Go to Uncommon Goods. Done.
I don't do very well.
Done. Simple.
Thanks, Uncommon Goods.
Thank you. This week, the podcast is sponsored by you can go deeper into the canals of Numenor or the mines of Khazad-dûm and more with the official Lord of the Rings Rings of Power podcast.
What?
Yeah. Did you know?
Get out of town. There's an official Rings of Power podcast.
There is an official podcast. Host Felicia Day and several special guests provide an inside look at the groundbreaking series and what it took to bring Middle-earth to life. Each episode...
It broke new ground.
Insanely so. Each new episode of the official podcast features exclusive interviews with the series showrunners, J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay, including the very first full breakdown of the incredible season finale. Felicia also goes behind the scenes with the cast and crew to bring you jaw-dropping stories and Easter eggs you won't want to miss. They
got Kellogg's Boo Berry on there.
I bet you there's at least one story about Kellogg's. I bet you. But you're going to have to find out you can watch the Rings of Power on Prime Video and you can listen to all 8 episodes of the official Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power podcast, available for free on Amazon Music. You can download the Amazon Music app now. Yeah, thank you, official Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power podcast.
Thank you.
Today's episode is also sponsored by Honey. Honey.
Hey, honey, what up?
Honey is all about, let's find an analogy for a thing that's not actually honey. It's not sticky. Okay. It's not sweet. It's not going to, be spread over your breakfast.
Listen, if you're able to save money with Honey, which you can, you might have a little extra to tip in towards getting a voice actor.
That's what you could do with a little bit of extra money. So Honey is going to save you money by helping you shop online. When you go to any of the many sites where you buy stuff these days, there's always a little promo code box. You never know what goes there or where to get the codes because you're not special.
Know what goes there. I just bought something yesterday that had a promo box. I'm like, I don't even know this place did promos.
Some people are born with a promo code in their mouths, and they're just entitled to that type of life. Others, too bad. You just get to stare at it and see what could be, but what isn't. Thanks to Honey, though, they'll search for all the coupon code availabilities that could save you money on whatever you're shopping for, scour the internet, and then apply the best one it finds to your cart. So without having to do the dirty work, you can save yourself some free money. You just click the apply coupons button at the cart on checkout. Yeah, it takes a few seconds and you'll watch the prices drop. It's that simple. Yeah, you can save free money. That's that if you're shopping online, if you're shopping for tech, if you're shopping for clothes, if you're buying games or in some cases even like food. There's all kinds of different sites that they work with, and once you click the button, you'll see just how much you get to save. Not just on your desktop, of course. It also works on your iPhone. You can activate it on Safari and save on the go. If you don't already have Honey, you could straight up be missing out. So do yourself a solid. You can support the show as well. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/superbeast. That's joinhoney.com/superbeast.
Thanks, Honey.
Okay, so in the news.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to say before you go anywhere, this week on stream, I will be streaming stuff over at twitch.tv/PatStaresAt. We're going to be playing Plague Tale Requiem, which is that game where rats still don't know how to swim. We're going to playing that, what's it called? 40K, Shoot His Blood and Teeth, which is also sponsored. We're going to do a React stream on Thursday. That's also going to have a Let's Watch thing with something that I don't think has been announced yet. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to watch that Konami Silent Hill thing.
All right.
That they announced.
Well, let's start there.
They announced a Konami Silent Hill thing.
There is a teaser website for a new Silent Hill thing. It will be revealed this Wednesday. And there's not much on the website except for a date after you enter your birthday, and then it forces you to accept cookies, which fuck you. And a little message on their Twitter saying, "In your restless dreams, do you see that town?" So, yeah. Let's get a fucking let's see how the remake is gonna look then, shall we? Let's see what this is gonna fucking look like.
Okay, what could it be? What could it be, everyone? What could it be?
Let's see the pachinko, the new age.
I mean, I can tell you what it is. It's
they're gonna remake the damn thing. Of course they're gonna remake.
They're gonna remake 2, and it's Bloober Team doing 2.
Yeah. And
they're also gonna put out what's probably I'm not sure what it is, but it's been rated. It's a teaser, probably called The Message.
The Short Message.
Yeah.
which was rated in Korea. And
Um,
then they're gonna add a new ending, in which there will be a good ending to just off yourself because you should have never tried. Because
I mean, that ending was already in the
yeah, but
game.
then this is gonna be the Bloober Team version.
Oh, it's gonna have low tier god in it.
Now it's gonna have electricity and thunder. Yeah.
So here's the thing. There's only one part. So I'm like, right. There is one thing that does help a little bit. Have you been to Masahiro Ito's Twitter lately?
I have not.
He is counting it down.
Ah.
Which, if Masahiro Ito, the guy who's like, you think too much when people send him screenshots of like the dirty ground or, yeah, Pyramid Head should not be like this or whatever, is involved in any way, you can then just be like, a little, because
Well,
it's Pyramid Head man, you
yes,
know?
yes. Wasn't there also a tweet about like some time ago about like not owning Pyramid Head or something like that? Or
He doesn't,
yeah,
but I mean, he designed him.
yeah. Uh,
Um,
so that's cool if they certainly are going back and reaching out. The only question, of course, is just like, okay, so based on what you've told me about Bloober Team and their work in other games and the medium, not a lot of great things. But if you're following a color
a
by
blueprint.
numbers template, if you're connecting the dots that have already been laid out for you, could this not still be good?
It could be. I mean, I'm gonna have to cover it. I
Konami,
have to know. I have to know.
Konami,
I have to know.
what's the last Konami?
Metal Gear Survive.
Yeah, it really was, wasn't it? I'm like, was
It
there
sure
anything
was.
since Survive?
No. Somebody asked in the chat a really interesting question that pertains specifically to Silent Hill, which is, how did Bloober Team become the torch carrier for Silent Hill? And the answer to that question is the same way that Team Vatra became the torch carrier for Silent Hill. And it's that they were the only people that wanted it, and they just showed up and said, "Can we have it?" And someone at Konami went, "Yeah, okay, sure."
That Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel game fucking popped off. That shit got really popular. They did do that. That's true.
Konami goes, people love Silent Hill, so like teams from like Europe just show up and be like, "Can we do Silent Hill? We'll only ask for $20." And Konami goes, "Okay." That's how that happens. Like
Compared to
that that happened like 4 or 5 times in a row.
man, post PT World, something else. Just what that name meant at that time, you know? What all those names meant, really. I mean,
I'm just like overwhelmed. I'm trying to think. Like they're gonna put out a trailer for Silent Hill 2, and it'll probably hopefully it'll be like a minute, 2 minutes long, like a real trailer. What would be the biggest like instantaneous red flag to you? Right? What would be,
uh,
because you're deep enough now. You're right there back in 2004. You played them, you enjoyed them, right? You get it, right? What would just jump right out at you as like, oh shit?
I mean, if this is a remake of the first game,
No,
um,
second game. In my
okay,
restless dreams, I see that town.
okay.
The short message is likely going to be a teaser about James receiving the letter.
Okay. If I saw footage of Heather or Harry running around, I
So
think that might be super fucking weird.
So
as
to me,
extras.
I just saw somebody in the chat say it. I'm really glad. To me, the most like because I'm not expecting it to be outrageously terrible, like shit all over the screen. I imagine the first trailer is going to be somewhat impressive, right? Because it's the trailer and they're putting up an event, right? Now you can make a trailer look nice. So I'm thinking more subtle. And I just saw somebody say it, so I'm really good for you, man. They're gonna show off talking to characters,
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna turn to Laura, and Laura is going to be voiced by an adult doing a child's voice. And it's just gonna like
The
just
voice acting.
suck it all right out of the room.
The voice acting.
And it's like that character is a little girl. And it's one of the only actors in any game that is so obvious that is absolutely a shit-headed little girl. And it matters.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. If voice acting doesn't like have that weird Silent Hill like cadence to it, that's gonna be a miss right off the bat. Absolutely. Yeah. That'll be annihilating. Actually, there is another answer as well.
Yeah.
Which is actually the second story, which is if you see anything that has to do with Konami's other announcement, which is their plans to move forward to find people to work on metaverse projects and blockchain stuff for their games.
Metaverse? You mean that thing that one of the richest people in the world has dumped hundreds of billions of dollars into, that they have to beg people inside the company to use because they can't even get like bugs fixed?
Well, it's
the most dramatic failure in modern history.
I mean, that or continue to watch Facebook die a boomer death, you know? I mean, at the end of the day, that thing's not making money for them either. But keep pushing it though. You'll catch on someday. Sony Home at Home, PlayStation Home or whatever the fuck, and Second Life, all of that jazz. Yeah, there is a news release from Konami Digital Entertainment that basically says they're looking for people who are specialists to work on new experiences in Web3 and Metaverse, and they're going to continue their development into researching in-game NFTs and distribution platforms and blockchain, and strengthening the structure of their business for new kinds of digital entertainment. So,
yeah, I'm not too worried about these projects being linked.
Anything about their second announcement, really?
I'm really not worried about that at all. Gamers don't buy metaverse shit, and then the joke is, of course, that no one does.
I'm seeing people are also people are also concerned about a morality meter. Is that a thing in like in the media?
It's under the. I don't know about that, but I mean, under the hood, there's a depression meter in Silent Hill too, but it's under the hood. Miss my wife button, like, you know, in Shadow of the Colossus, you hit the button, it goes agro. It's like Mary.
I'll tell you one thing. If there was
tell me one thing.
If the ending was determined by a button dedicated to looking at the photo, as opposed to just going into the inventory and doing it manually, that would have made more sense. If there was a random button that was stare at wife button, and you didn't know what it did, it would have been a bit more of a like, oh, maybe I should do this every once in a while.
Hey, listen, devs make all sorts of weird shit. If you had told me that Double Helix was going to make Killer Instinct, I would have been like, oh god, that's going to be trash. No, they did a great job. It's always possible, right, that they can pull it out. I remain pessimistic.
It's a blueprint. There's an existing thing you got to copy, and just don't add too much of your own shit to it. And don't fuck up.
Yeah, but part of that blueprint has super weird directions.
Yes, and make
sure the character looks like the actor,
and someone who is in tune with why people like these games should be able to parse that out. You know, that's the thing.
I'm like afraid. I'm like afraid that like, James, are you all right? I don't know. I had a hallucination. It must have been that vaccine I took before I got here. Oh, that was the source of everything. Just like I like part of me
Mm-hmm.
is just expecting like just like let's double it down. Let's just go. Let's just go. The
See,
moral of Silent Hill 2 is vaccines made me kill my wife.
um, see, the thing is though, like, I also don't know, um, like, is jumping straight to two past one also a good idea? Like, wouldn't it
Yeah, it's
have?
fine. It's totally
Yeah,
unrelated.
because
It's
I
fine.
mean,
Yeah.
with RE, right? Like, wasn't the idea kind of like, well, everyone loves two, but like, if we're gonna be doing this and like building it from the ground up, then, um, eh, I
No,
guess
the
it,
thing with RE was like, should we did remake, and it was
right.
great, and people are
Therefore,
asking. So like, people have not been asking for remake of remake because remake is incredible and still looks immaculate today.
but it's still not like ported, right?
Remake one, yeah, it's ported. It's got a modern release.
Oh yeah. Oh okay.
Yeah, it totally did.
Because Silent Hill, I guess is just like, doesn't it seem like, I don't know. I guess if you go for the one that is like, I guess the best selling and the most demanded, you go
Two
straight
stands
to
on its
two.
own the best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
If this is successful, then they'll do one and then three, and then we can see an attempt at four, because that would be interesting, wouldn't it?
I mean, the other way to do it would be you do one and you see if you even can do this, and if it's
Yeah.
gangbusters, then you use that momentum to go forward and make two even better with all the lessons you've learned. You know.
No, just start two. Just start with two. It's got Pyramid Head in it. It's got the Triangle Man. He's scary. He's in Dead by Daylight.
That's the mascot. Anyways,
You know what was interesting about going through three? It doesn't have a Pyramid Man. It
no,
doesn't have a
no,
recurring villain. The recurring villain is Claudia.
yeah,
She's a bitch.
and the what are they called?
Vincent.
No,
The
no, no,
missionaries.
no, no, no. The big monsters have a name.
Venus?
Insanity, cancer,
Insane Cancer.
insane
Well, no, that's
cancers.
a regular enemy. It's
Yeah,
got Valtiel, but that's different. That's
no, and everything is character specific. Yeah. Anyways, we'll see what happens with that shit. The other thing that happened as we continue into this just wonderful week. So G4 TV shut down, and
Hey, shout outs to Jirard. I'm so sorry, buddy. That
and
sucks.
immediately afterwards, the completionist Jirard exactly was like, "Hey, this tweet is how I found out I lost my job. How neat!" Which once again, for the nth time, it's so cool when the announcement of the company shutdown is how people who work at the fucking company find out about it. Such a cool
That's
move.
great.
Good
Oh,
priorities in
good move.
order. Everything up and up. You know,
That's how we found out about Machinima.
sure did. Mm-hmm.
We're sitting around. It's post breakup, and we're like figuring out how the Machinima shit happens, and then we just look on the fucking internet and like, Machinima's gone, and we're like, what? It's just gone? And then we try to reach out to somebody, and they're all dead. They're all gone. It's like they never existed at all.
Hello, you've reached Spirit Halloween. What costume can I find you today?
It's like, why bother?
Yeah.
Why bother? What do
Honestly,
I,
because
businessman, gain
because
out of
we are
telling people that they lost their job?
because I am panicking and packing my parachute full of loot and wares, and I'm making sure that it's going to work when I jump out of this thing. I don't have the time or the decency to give a fuck about anybody around me. The building is on fire. The Titanic is sinking. Everybody for themselves.
But sir, you lit the building on fire.
Everybody for themselves. Did you see the long lost pilot for the Kingdom Hearts cartoon series?
I fucking did not.
There is an 11-minute pilot for what would have been a Disney animated Kingdom Hearts TV series. And apparently one of let's see here, the animatic was a part of this artist's resume. And let's see here. Yeah, after Kingdom Hearts 1, Disney was planning on trying to figure out if they can make a show based on Kingdom Hearts. And you know what? You watch it, and it shows you like Sora, Riku, and Kairi hanging out on the beach, and then some stuff happens, and then they go to Agrabah, and then you see.
Oh my god!
And Donald and Goofy are there, and it's like it got claimed as well and taken down. Yeah, so you're gonna have to catch a re-upload. But in fact, let me just boop. There you go. It's 11 minutes, and you know what? After watching it, I'm kind of like, I would have watched that show. I would have watched it. You know?
I'm gonna look at it now.
Yeah, it's like, obviously you'd replace the storyboarding with like cleaned up animation and such, but I would have fucking gotten into a little Kingdom Hearts cartoon with
yeah, fuck it, why not? Disney had all sorts of trash on the air.
2 short stories per half-hour episode, you know. They got little cartoon noses as well in that art style, but it seemed, from what little I've seen of Kingdom Hearts, to pretty much capture and summarize what those events were like, you know. And then eventually it could all lead up to the parking lot. So, yeah. In fact, it also would have been an interesting way to summarize the events of some of those games if you were trying to get your
way. It really sure would have.
Get your way through to the later shit. So, yep.
So you don't have to hear It means heart. It means heart. Does it mean heart, Tarzan? Fucking that fucking level's terrible.
And then maybe there could have been a Disney animated episode dedicated to Sephiroth.
That would have been pretty good. That would have been pretty good.
Yeah. So it looks like Disney's taking it down everywhere, but you can you can catch a re-upload of that if you search. And
there's a world in which standing next to the Akatsuki cosplayer at the con is the Organization 13 one, because they can just buy the same coat at the same guy.
Yeah. Yes. They just nice and easy. There you go. Do they all have a little like Keyblade necklace thing as well, or?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Just a little accessory and a little cloak, and you're ready. Perfect. Well, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It's been a week of darkness. It's been all shadow, but I can see a light coming up.
Yeah.
It is my pleasure to announce to you that D.Va in Overwatch 2 has made it to the top of the Pornhub search list.
Congratulations.
Your claps
congratulations.
Your claps are being cut out by your
that makes it much better, actually.
The champion. You know, for a while there, it got a little questionable, got a little doozy. Stepmoms stuck in dryers were taken over, and you know, MILFs are a whole other thing that you got to put an army together, and you need a team behind you. and Diva had that team, and together they were able to overcome the odds and make it to the top of the Pornhub search list. Congratulations
So I don't know
to Diva.
if you know this, but last week or maybe the week before, an account just posted like basically, "Hey, we ripped the models."
I saw.
And that tweet got more play than any Overwatch announcement of literally all time.
All official announcements, correct. Yeah, the specificity of the search term was Overwatch Diva with no period, because there's no time. There's no time to put d.va. You gotta just
No.
you gotta just write it all together.
No, there's no time.
Didn't last, however. Eventually, it dropped back down to 8th place.
Oh darn.
Oh no, wait, hold on. My correction. Overwatch 2 was 8th place.
Ah, I see.
Diva's still up there. So, a hearty congratulations to Hannah Song and her team. Well done.
Still the funniest thing in the world to me. The most pathetic thing I've ever seen in this business is Randy Pitchford getting on.
Hey,
Twitter
man.
like, you guys see there's this Battleborn porn? That's crazy.
Hey. Let's not Battleborn shame anybody. All right, no born shaming.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that term at all.
We don't need to born shame anyone over here.
I hate that so much. Oh my god.
With the E in it. You got to spell it correctly.
That's just awful. That's one of the worst things you have ever said. Oh man.
It's good. Good.
Got emails? What do we got? Get me away from this.
We got some emails. castlesuperbeastmail@gmail.com is where you send the letter if you'd like us to read it or not. Here's one coming in from Joao. Says, as per a quick note about Willie and Reggie in Mass Effect 2 on Old West drawing duels. The Old West duel was based on the Southern style duello, which itself was based on the 1777 Irish duello rules. These were created to prevent vendettas and already accounted for the use of guns. As of all duel types, honor was the major point. If you shot first, you were the aggressor and as such had no honor. Drawing second, but faster, and shooting first was viewed as skillful and in self-defense. Yeah, so we talked about, I was explaining to Reggie how the whole point of the good, the bad, and the ugly style stare downs with the gun flickering in the hand and stuff is to get someone to pull their gun up on you first, because self-defense is okay, but shooting someone in cold blood is murder. Therefore,
that's stupid as fucking shit.
So the whole game of cowboys standing out in town square at high noon is, if you pull your gun and point it at me first and I kill you before you pull the trigger, I self-defended and we're all in the clear.
No, just swing first.
No, you gotta swing second.
No, just pull it out and shoot them.
Swing second, hit and hit first.
Bunch of dumbass fucking idiot motherfuckers.
That was
my honor, though. How about you be honorless and alive, you piece of shit?
That was the game. So,
here's my duel. I shoot you in the back through the window while you're on the toilet.
If you take a look at Call of Juarez Gunslinger, each level has a dual boss fight. To get the good ending, you have to maintain honor in all of them. Some guys even go for a fake out and twitch a lot. It's easy to win a duel. It's damn hard to win an honor duel. It's damn hard to win with honor. So yeah, just clarifying that idea. Sure, man. In fact, the final form that duels ended up with before they were outlawed in most but not all places was the idea that to get our dignity intact, we'd walk outside and do all the paces and go through the motions. And then when it comes time to fire, we both are going to shoot above each other's heads and then call it a draw. But the point is, whatever our argument was, we were willing to die over it. And that means with a witness standing next to it, they're like, okay, you both proved your point. You were willing to die.
I'll just shoot him. Shoot him.
So,
he's going to shoot over my head. Then I shoot him and he's dead. That means my point was right.
Okay, well, that's Hamilton. That's literally Hamilton.
Good. Die. Listen, I'm not going to attack anybody or shoot anybody. But if I was in an era in which I was actually pissed off enough to pull a gun, I'm not going to do this bullshit where I'm like, oh, maybe I'm going to prove my point in society. But like, no, I'm going to fucking shoot. Just shoot him. He's got a gun. He could shoot me. What if he tried to shoot me? I have to shoot him.
Well, that's honor. That's the point. That's how you do it honorably.
Okay, well, he can explain his honor to me while I'm pissing on his corpse.
Yes, well.
And his wife is crying, oh, how could he do? I guess he didn't have enough honor to shoot me first.
I mean, there's an entire book series sitting on my shelf here called Vagabond, in which honorable samurai duels aren't worth the fucking shit on the ground if you're dead. So that's exactly it. At the end of the day, it's like, hey, man, you can stand there and get stabbed, or you can grab that dirt off the ground and throw it in that dude's face and tackle him to the ground and hold his sword arm. And while you're holding his sword arm, then you stab him. And it's like, you won the samurai battle. What
if I like, okay, we're going to duel at high noon, right? Okay. And then he's like standing there and like, I'm not there because I'm like in a building hiding behind a window. And then I just shoot him. Just shoot him.
Or you reach for or you talk about fighting at high noon and you reach for the gun in the cereal box. And then you just go for it there and then.
Yeah, good. Dead people don't have no honor.
Or humanity.
No, they're dead.
Hence the battle without honor or humanity. Anyways, there you go.
We got one first.
We got one coming in from what's your tag here? None. Okay, so Michael.
Oh, by the way, there's going to be a Resident Evil showcase on October 20th. That's the Thursday thing that I'm going to be watching.
Are they going to be showing off Reverse?
No, they're going to be showing off Resident Evil 4.
Okay.
It's about half an hour long, and they're going to show off the DLC for 8 and more RE4.
Michael says, Red and Scornful Pat. Now that Wooly got to Legion in Mass Effect 2, but not to his loyalty mission, I want to bitch about one of the worst parts of ME2. The fake out to do all missions before getting the IFF. The game sets it up and tells you have to finish the mission.
Stop reading this.
All right. Cancelled. Here's one coming in from unnamed Rocket Grunt, who says, hello, Magma Admin Wooly and Skull Grunt Pat. Need your absolute judgment on my actions, hopefully to prove my friends that I'm not just straight up scamming people. Hustle or grift. Pokemon edition. That's not what it was. It was hustle or scam.
That's not, no, it's...
You're getting it wrong.
And then it was hustle and scam, and then the Pokemon one was hustle and flow.
Well, that was the two different versions of it. Yes.
Yeah.
And there was hustle, and then there was hustle, loyalty, and respect. I think we kind of like landed on with the different.
It was hustle and flow, man. I remember
hustle and flow. Yes, no, hustle and flow. Obviously from the bit.
Yeah.
And then there was a third version that came around, which was it was Big E, Tupac, and then Andre. Okay.
So it's hustle or scam, but scam is grift. Grift is scam.
Sure. Anyway, segment is hustle or scam. So I'm part of a cosplay improv group based on Team Rocket from Pokemon. We dress up as grunts and we run panels at conventions. We do quiz shows, game tournaments, and people
That's fun.
come have a good time. All unpaid. I decided last year to try and make a little money on the side at the con. Most cons have a swap meet type event where you bring your old anime junk to sell it at a discount and people show up and attend, so on.
Right.
I purchase a plot at the swap meet, and then I buy around 150 bootleg Pokemon figures off of Amazon for around $35. Then I dress as a Team Rocket grunt, and I sell the figures as a part of a game. I put them in a big Pokeball-shaped bag. Customers have two options. Both cost a single American dollar. They can either reach their hands in the bag without looking and grab the two figures, or I open the bag fully so that they can look for 30 seconds before picking out a single figure. I've done this twice now, and people seem to have a lot of fun doing it. I've had a few people come back with their friends to try and go to the ATM and pull out a crisp 20, coming looking for 20 random pulls. The first time there was a con with 300-ish people, I even sold out. I don't lie about what I'm selling, but I leave my fate to you. Unnamed Rocket Grunt.
This is absolutely a hustle because you dressing up like Team Rocket and putting it into a game is adding value to the experience.
There you go. It's diegetic. It's in kayfabe. Everyone understands that they're dealing with a rocket grunt, and the whole point is to get ripped off with counterfeit Pokemon by the bad guys. It's a ton of fun. This is pure hustle.
That being said, you literally just manually invented a gotcha machine with your own body. Like,
and
it's not new what
you've
done here.
But people are coming for pulls, but they're literal pulls. They're reaching in and pulling out a thing. You know, I guess you can feel it to see what you got. But this is the purest, most undiluted hustle.
No, it's a straight hustle. Yeah, you bought something for cheap. And then you figured out a context in which you could flip it for more. It's barely even a hustle. This is just congrats. You found out a cool little way to make money. The Team Rocket getup is like 99% of it.
Maybe even
that's what really makes it.
Put a non bootleg figure in there just to up the scam ad value and play into the full Rocket.
Now, that being said, don't get caught. Nintendo will fuck you.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But good stuff. That's fun. That's a lot of fun. All right. I'm good with that.
The week is done, and now it's all sunshine and rainbows.
Podcast defeated. It's all done. And now back to just a completely uneventful life and an uneventful time. And there won't be anything that immediately comes out that has a bunch of people going, oh my God, next week though, holy shit.